since I'm working with him on the buy side. I'm not working with him on the buy side.
Oh, Doc, you got to move over just a hair.
You will love Frank Grant.
Okay. I don't need headphones, right?
Should be.
No. Well, you want me on camera? I'm that ugly, huh?
I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. This is the only show anywhere of its kind. Hey, you might be home from work today. It's President's Day, sitting around thinking, hey, I'm going to listen to radio. Thank God we have talk radio. It's like an old town meeting or a meeting over the fence or on the porch. It's just a meeting between people at the water cooler or in the car, just talking. That's what we do. We just talk, and this show is truly an outlet, and I think a catharsis. It lets you vent. Even if we can't get results, venting in itself helps, and it warns others of problems. If you have a problem, a question or complaint, I can't even define it other than that. Any question, problem, complaint, you need a referral. It's like before Nextdoor came around, we were on the air doing that, but it's like that, but we get directly involved in solving problems. There's no other show in the world that does it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by Real CBD, thatworks.com. CBD products are, they're all over, multi-billion-dollar industry. I like doing a service by saying, you know what, we culled through many of them, and we found something so effective and so wonderful right here in Colorado, and it's Panacea Life Sciences. So just go and put this promo code Martino in there, and you get 20% off. Real CBDthatworks.com. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind? Today, we're going to talk to, you might have heard of him, Ross Kaminsky. He's on the air right before me. Ross, seriously, you want to talk about real estate? Real estate's a big deal, and it's the most important thing most of us do in our lives. So you're in transition right now, aren't you?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It is cool. It's both
exciting,
scary and exciting at the same time.
It's very exciting.
And I actually had a fairly specific question for you.
Yeah, sure. I love questions.
So we're under contract right now to buy a home. The various inspections are actually tomorrow.
Okay.
And one of the things that we noticed when we looked at the home is that it's clear that one end of the home has kind of settled a little bit more than the other end. The home was originally built in 1962.
Okay, that's important.
Okay,
62.
Originally built in 62, remodeled in 82, but the remodel is kind of irrelevant for my current question. And so you can
tell. And how much does it list or lean or settle? How much does it look like?
Yeah, I would say, okay, it looks like it's sort of started angling at around one end of the kitchen. And so the other end of the kitchen looks to me like it's maybe an inch or two.
Is it a single story?
It's a single. From the street, it's a ranch. From the back, because the land is sloped, it's a walkout basement.
Cool.
So, okay. So I would say it looks like an inch or two.
Yeah.
And if you go to the far southern end of the house, the bottom of the baseboard in a room over there is about an inch off the floor. Because the foundation isn't connected to the wall, I guess, or however that works. So we've got a structural engineer coming over.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But I just wanted to get your take on that kind of issue. What do we really need to be concerned about and that kind of thing?
In a home more than 25 years old, that kind of stuff means way less than in a newer home. Way less. Meaning that it's probably done all the moving it's going to do. Usually, most harm will be done in the first 10 years. And after that, you've got worst case scenario. So what I like is looking at worst case scenario. Unless something shifted in the environment, like all of a sudden there's a giant build up the street which shifted groundwaters in it, and we're talking major shift in conditions. I don't think that happened. So in an established neighborhood with a home more than 25 years old, the good news is what you're looking at is worst case scenario. I mean, like I said, if it's going to move, it moved. And how far did it move and what damage did it do? You're looking at it. So the other good news is because it's done all it's going to do, barring, as I said, some major shifting conditions, let's assume it's just what it's going to do and that's it. then I think that's wonderful because you get a chance to deal with it and it'll stay. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're not wondering what's going to happen. It's been there since '62, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to happen, happen. So
you think it won't move more, most
it
likely?
Absolutely won't. If it was from that neighborhood, that build.
Yeah.
There's only two things except for one, something happened to the home structurally, which is almost unheard of, meaning something happened where something broke. It had some major trauma from a truck or a tractor, or the weather got in and rotted a major structural beam somewhere. That probably, I'm going to say it didn't happen. And then unless the groundwater shifted and there's a major environmental change, that usually doesn't happen. So again, it's good news, people, when you look at a home that's 25 years old, because you see whatever you're going to see. And I can say with almost certainty it will not move anymore, barring the outside influence, or assuming it's not there, and some major damage. And again, I don't think that's the problem.
I talk to the neighbors. I talk to neighbors on both sides and behind you and see about anything. Have these guys ever mentioned any kind of issue with their house?
You can see the shift. What I'm saying is, Mark, you remember, it's built in '62. So good news. It's doing what it's going to do. You don't have to worry about anything in the future, barring those two things, because I know people always say, oh, that's impossible. So, but I will say 99% of the time. So here's the deal. The fix is going to be easy because you're not having to predict. You're not fighting invisible monsters. You're fighting what's there.
Is there a fix, or you just live with it?
Well, okay. If it's a 25-year-old home, and
this is almost 50.
That's what I mean. So now you can live with it, so long as you can live with it. There's nothing wrong with living with it. The other thing is cosmetically changing it. That's the second option. The third one is structurally changing it, which some people have done. They have jacking systems that will level a home. And once the home is this old, they can level it with certainty. It's not going to move anymore. So you really have the options laid out for you.
Is that last one, is that big money?
It can be, depending on how much they have to move it and how far down they have to go. If you don't have bedrock down that far, and if it doesn't have to move that much, you're looking at a minimum, no matter what, a minimum of jacking a home of about $15,000, a minimum. But the max could be 70, 80, 100.
Wow.
But we're talking about major things where they have to pour some new walls next to it. I would say that there are some really good systems out there now. Mark, what shocks me is we don't have those major systems on the referral list, and I know why. It's not something people go out to look for every day. It's not one of these things like heating and air and all of that. But I do know that there were systems out there that were absolutely wonderful, where they will screw in and some pump in, as far as hydraulically.
Interesting.
Once you get to bedrock, they attach it to the house, they pump up the house or jack up the house, and then level it all off. But that's good news, by the way. On an old house like that, settling, it's done. It's good news. Now, I would be if this house was 10 years or newer, you have to worry. What's going to happen? What am I fighting? What are things changing? What's the neighborhood like?
Yeah,
right?
That makes sense.
Even Deputy Dan, who loves finding nitpicking things to screw around with, he lives for disagreement. He's an engineer. And even Dan, by his silence, he knows what I'm saying. If a house is 50 years old, isn't that good news, though, really? It is good news, isn't it? I mean, because you've seen it. You see it.
Yeah.
You know? So, anyway.
Well, I thank you for that.
Cool.
I feel a little better
Now
about
the engineer's going to tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, like I said, I'm hoping that there is no major change in the neighborhood. Most of the time in established neighborhoods, folks, what you look for is things what are called upstream. You may say, well, we have no streams. But we do. We have underground stuff. And upstream is very important as opposed to downstream. People sometimes, they've been in a neighborhood for 20 years, and all of a sudden some giant development comes up the street. And all of a sudden major things start happening to their home, flooding, shifting, and they don't know why. And it could be so far away you think, how could that possibly have an effect on me? But it can. Anyway, 303-713-TALK. Beth, we're going to talk to you about a storage unit. Johnny wants to talk about text scamming coming up.
Is there a difference between foam and mud jacking?
Foam?
Don't people use some foam?
Yeah, they do. But they don't use it for structural lifting.
Oh, okay.
That's for like a cement.
Yeah, okay.
Like slabs,
The weird thing for me with this house is I almost think I can see the part in the house where it's level and then it starts to angle down. And it's roughly in the kitchen. And the house, I think, was built kind of on a slope. And so this part is not a walkout basement, right? The basement's buried. This house, this has a walkout basement, and the land is like this.
Why would they?
And I think it's over there.
Why would they?
Well, with the house,
why would
like
they
I said,
release
this
on
all-
it?
That's wonderful. You got it.
What are you talking about?
Alright,
It's
well,
$1.12
that's-
up
it's
before
really
market
good
opens
for you.
after hours.
All right.
And you'll see your structural.
But why
Who
though?
did you get?
Did
I
they
don't know,
release
I'll let the
earnings?
realtor get 'em.
Yeah,
market
I don't like
went today.
realtors getting engineers.
They think
Yeah, I don't know.
what China said.
I like these realtors
is
a lot.
the virus is
Inside.
leveling off.
Why not have a mud jacking guy just look at it? Like, what's his face?
For how much? Yeah.
No, he doesn't do foundations.
No. But it's just one of the guys that do it.
Just someone that can eyeball.
What was the name of that one we used to have? I loved him, man. God, I'm trying to think of his name.
He retired. You mean AAA?
No, it was a jack.
Cracker Jack.
No, I'm talking about structural. We had a structural.
We have a structural
peering.
peering guy.
Yeah,
We
have
do.
a peering company. Yeah,
Peering.
We have
Who
a
do we
peering
have?
company.
I think it's called structural peering.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Oh my
Something like
God,
that.
I should have mentioned it.
Go.
Rocky Mountain Retro Foam is for insulating your home. We just heard from Ross, right? He's buying a home that was built in '62. I'll bet you he has inadequate insulation. And here's what I love about this foam. You can get an older home, even a newer home like in the 90s, and you may not like the insulation. You can make it 50% more energy efficient by simply doing this retro foam. It's an injection foam, environmentally friendly. It doesn't outgas. It doesn't get hard. It's not an epoxy. It's not a spray. It is an injection foam, like a thick shaving cream that fills every nook and cranny. It also makes your home not only 50% more energy efficient, up to 50%, it can make your home up to 80% more quiet. It's done in a day from outside the home in most cases. Isn't that wonderful? You don't have to worry about disrupting your living space. And when you have it done now, listen to this one. If you have it done now, they do the attic for 20% off. Call for details on this. It's Rocky Mountain Retro Foam. This video will sell you, I swear, when you see it. FoamYourWalls.com. Just look at that video. Oh, man. FoamYourWalls.com.
Do you know the most shocking thing about calling an
Morning, gents.
What's up, man? Yeah, that's really good.
You want a special on going on?
Yeah, we got a smoking good special today.
3 rooms, $33.
No, $33 a room, unlimited.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
I just saw you do that
Wait a
on
minute.
TV.
Unlimited. So it's normally after the first
I
3
know.
areas, $55 a room, $33 unlimited. You got to complete it by the end of February. But $33 a room, unlimited.
Ones if they call up and you can't get them in February.
We'll figure it out.
Mark, I want you to...
And get a free sweatshirt with it? Come on.
It's a cool sweatshirt.
I know it.
Did you know Zero Res is spelled the same forwards and
You know
backwards?
what it's called?
What do you call that?
Yes.
What?
Hermaphrodite.
No. Is he on one today?
Is he gone?
Do you know what it's called? Spelled forwards or backwards? A word that's spelled
I do,
forwards.
but I can't.
I have heard
It
it
is
before.
called...
Starts with a P.
Huh?
A pala.
Palimony. It's a palindrome.
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 Yep.
There you go.
It's the old palindrome.
Like race cars.
Shouldn't it be a word that actually is a
It
palindrome?
should be.
They used to call it palimony.
No.
It's a palindrome.
Are you
No.
doing a spot, Mark?
Excel
You
Roofing.
need a pen or?
Nope. There you go.
I could use a sweatshirt.
What? Never mind. You answer.
What?
Hey, if we book 30 off the radio today, I'll buy you a sweatshirt. I'll get you a sweatshirt.
Okay. Good.
What were you saying?
Oh, no, nothing. I just wanted to know if you were doing a spot. You
Is it?
took your headphone off.
Hey, Mark, can you imagine what the skiing was like this weekend? all that snow, beautiful weather.
The week before, they showed a line at
Vale.
Vale.
Did you hear about that dude?
Fuck
that died
me,
there?
it was like a mile
Yeah.
long.
What
Can
happened?
you imagine what
Guy
happened this
got
weekend?
hung and suffocated off of the chairlift in
His
Vale.
coat got caught in the chairlift and suffocated him.
Oh my
You can't even sue them, can you?
I'm sure you
Well,
could.
what got caught in the chair? So
No, you. I don't.
Slipped in
jacket.
between the chair.
I don't
lift
think
and
you
his
can.
jacket Came up.
Depends on whether it's negligence. Again, if the
sounds
chair
negligent.
wasn't working
I
properly.
think they have a nice little carve out. It's
No.
like suing the equestrian.
No,
No,
if
if
it's,
Okay.
if it's negligence,
yeah, if you could prove negligence.
Well, hold on.
I-
Even in equestrian,
Doesn't
If I
matter if it's
fucking-
negligent or not.
if I
No.
fucking loosen your saddle right before you go and hit the horse on the ass, you can't sue me.
you can't indemnify against negligence.
Yes, you can.
You fucking
Really?
fuck
By
yeah,
law.
you can.
By law. you
Almost
can.
every municipality
Hold
does
on,
it.
That's municipality.
Yeah, that's what we're
But
talking
even
about.
now-
You
Who
can-
owns Vale?
No.
Who owns a mountain?
But
That's
Ken,
a private
we're not
lease.
talking about.
It is?
indemnifying
You're talking,
some
Winter
municipality.
Park.
Yeah.
A
No.
municipality
Deer Valley
can
and
indemnify.
Right.
Is it
But
Loveland?
Vale is
Loveland?
Vale Associates is a private entity.
No,
It's not epic.
a municipality, I don't know the big, but a municipality could pass a law indemnifying a private enterprise.
Really?
Yes, it can. In
You
Colorado,
do
in
Do
Colorado,
you guys watch NASCAR
it's
at
been
all?
tested.
Wow.
In
Trump was
Colorado,
on there, huh?
we have an equine
What's that?
law
Trump was on
that
That, but it's just
we
amazing to watch those
indemnify
dudes race.
all operators of
I usually don't watch
negligence, no matter
it,
what.
but I added it to my
Look
bucket
it up,
list.
man.
I believe you. I'm just
Because horses were so big. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. You know what? We have, I swear to God, a show in a show if you listen to the commercial. During this commercial, we were talking about several things. First, Shane, who dropped in to say hi, Shane Karen with Zero Res of Denver, he said, we're going to do $33 a room, no limit. $33 a room, period. What's considered a room? It's about 200 square feet, right?
Yep.
It's rough.
Up to 200 square feet.
Now, so therefore, $33 a room, no matter what. $3. Now, here's the thing. We also talked about in that we said Zero Res is spelled the same backwards and forward. Do you know what that's called? That was the next thing we talked about. And what is it called?
Palindrome.
Palindrome.
Yep.
And the only one who knew that was Deputy Doc. And then
Yeah, but no.
we talked
Shane
about
helped them big time on that.
we talked about
He knew it. He knew it.
We
I
talked
knew
about
it.
negligence. We talked about negligence. And can you disclaim negligence? No, you can't. You can't disclaim all negligence in a contract. But municipalities, can a law-making body pass a law indemnifying an industry? In Colorado, we have, and I don't think it's ever been pierced. We have an equine law. It's not what it's called, equine something, but it's basically it says if you have an equine operation, horse operation, you can't be held for negligence. It was such a big industry here. They carved it out and said, look, it's inherently dangerous. No matter what happens, you can't hold the operator, the owner, responsible.
It's an inherent risk doctrine.
Is that what it's called? Did you look it up?
Yep, I did.
Inherent risk doctrine.
Yep.
And then we asked, are there inherent risks for other things? Like the ski industry. Wouldn't you think with how big the ski industry is in America, I mean, in Colorado.
I'm sorry, that's what I was referring to. The ski industry that's what it's called, not the equine.
We have a law. We don't have a law in the
Yeah,
books.
inherent risk doctrine, which protects skiers.
No, that's a doctrine,
against
Mark. A
claims.
doctrine means it's been
It's
established
going to go
by
both
common
for
law.
the equine
No,
and the
but I just
the
want to
ski.
know something. Were there actual laws passed by Colorado?
It says most states, including Colorado and Utah, employ an assumption of risk, inherent risk doctrine, which protects ski areas
Right.
against claims.
That's employing a doctrine, meaning they use the doctrine. But do they actually put it into law? I've never heard
the
of it.
Colorado Ski Safety Act.
Really? That might be it then. So it takes away a lot of the nonsense, doesn't it?
It sets forth safety standards
Good.
and immunities
Good.
for the
Excellent.
operation of a ski area.
And you know the biggest disclaimer or cutout in all of America, right? The biggest, the number one.
Guns.
No. There's no cutout for that.
I don't think you can sue a gun company.
Oh, that's not true. They've done that recently.
Oh, maybe so. I didn't think you could sue a
Workers'
gun
compensation, employers. Employees versus employers. The world could not go around if we had the ability to sue employers. It just wouldn't happen. Because why? Because employees who are pissed off would sue. It wouldn't even matter if it had a case or not. So what they said with employment is you can't sue your employer for negligence. That's it. Now, obviously, you can sue for everything else like, harassment and unsafe.
Wrongful termination.
We've
been in that battle.
All of this. What other stuff? Just
Wait,
like
I have a
hostile
question.
work environments, yes.
Mark, with the Colorado ski thing, if somebody skis into you on the slope, that's the inherent risk. What if on the...
Yeah, but you can still sue somebody for that.
You can sue the person, but not the resort.
Yeah.
What if, when you get on a chairlift, there's the screw that holds the bar in front of you wasn't placed, it isn't there, and you lean forward and you fall off the chairlift?
You might be able to sue them
That's
for that.
negligence,
you could.
as opposed to the Indemnity Act, which prevents you from the
Let's put it
inherent
this
risk
way.
of skiing.
I'm not saying that there is a law that protects the ski industry. What I am saying is that that municipalities and states do have the ability to pass laws that help industries individually. The Equine Act is so strong. There have been people that did not cinch up a saddle, and people have fallen off, and there's not much you can do about it. Beth has a problem with storage. Beth, what's going on with you, Beth?
It's actually not storage. It's an apartment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My bad, Tom.
Go ahead.
So basically, we moved into this apartment in October, and within our first 30 days of living here, we noticed issues. First of all, they raised the rent right away. And we
Wait a minute. You're on a month-to-month?
No, we signed a 6-month lease.
Well, how do they raise a rate if you have a 6-month lease?
That's what we were wondering. And it wasn't even in
Beth,
a written notice either.
Beth, hold on. I'm sure that that's an issue that we need to talk about. I don't even know if that's why you called. But if you have a 6-month lease, I am assuming that it froze the rent for 6 months, but I might be wrong. Most of the time, landlords are not stupid. But you're telling me there was a 6-month guaranteed lease rent, and they raised it against the written lease.
Yes.
Well, they can't. So tell me how that happened. You have a lease. You have a lease that set out the rent for how much?
$875.
$875 for 6 months.
Yes.
And nowhere in the lease, nowhere does it say they can raise the rent.
Not that I read. I've read it a few times.
And they raised it to what?
$950.
Okay. Well, that's ridiculous. Now, when you moved in, how did it work? Did they collect the $875 down security and $875 rent? What did they collect before you moved in?
$875 for the first month and $875 for a deposit.
And then right after you moved, you're good for the month of what? What month?
October.
For October. Now, what happened? When did they tell you that November was going up?
Actually, at the end of October.
They said...
We weren't even here for
hold on.
30 days yet.
So they said, by the way, in a few days, when November's rent's due, you got to pay more.
Yep.
Okay. Not only did they raise the rent with a lease guaranteeing an $875, but they gave you no notice.
Correct.
Okay, hold on. So in November, you were told a few days before rent was due. Rent's due on the 1st, is it?
Yes.
And they told you a few days before rent's due, by the way, you got to come up with another $50.
Yep.
Mark?
Just send the lease over so we can look at it.
I mean, what do you think? Do you believe that? I don't believe it.
If it's true, I will fight my ass for
that's
it.
what
I'll
I'm saying.
literally drive down and talk to him today if it's true.
Beth, we're going to help you. Very seldom do we have such egregiousness. Now, raising it alone with a lease, you can't do.
Send the lease over.
And on top of it, even with a verbal lease, you have to give people notice. I believe it's a 10-day notice. I'm not sure, but I think it is. It could be 3, but I think it's 10. So they gave you notice that rent went up $50.
Not even written notice. The lady came and knocked on the door and said, hey, by the way, your rent goes up.
Then you paid the increased rent for November, and then what happened in December? Did they raise it again, or did you pay the same rate?
No, I'm paying the same rate.
Which
That's
is-
actually not even why I called. It's
No,
kinda
I know, but this is what's so amazing to me. I said that in the beginning. You probably didn't call about this, and it's one of your strongest arguments. So it went from $875 to $925. Did you say $950? Oh, so they raised it $75. Holy crap! Okay, why did you call? By the way, you've been paying plus $75 since you moved in, since November. Okay. So,
I actually called as of safety issues, and like we have bed bugs, and we reported it within our first 30 days of living here. Every maintenance request we've put in, we have no smoke alarms. The
Wait a
locks
minute.
on the windows
That's an
don't
entire
work.
different deal.
hold
though.
on, but it's important. Bed bugs, debatable, by the way. And so are all infestations. They're debatable. I'm not saying you can't get them covered, but they're difficult. However, no smoke alarms. Are you saying they don't work or they're not there?
They don't exist. There are no smoke alarms. in
Okay,
this
this place is crazy.
Is it a motel?
No. It's
All
an
right.
actual apartment, and if you try to find it on Google, you can't. There's no way to contact
Well,
the landlord.
there's no law against that. You know, I mean, that's not a
Well,
big...
why don't you find another place, because everything's going to lead back to that.
I want to know...
That's actually what we're doing.
It's going to lead back to what, Mark?
Finding another place.
Well, of course, but I'd like to go after this guy. He's taking advantage of her.
Well, I'd love to see that lease.
What's the name of the place? Is there a name to it?
That's another issue. I think it's called like Westshire Apartments.
How many
or something.
apartments are there?
What's on the lease?
How many apartments are there? One question at a time.
Well, he has several properties. These ones here, there's 3 buildings, but then he has ones across the street where there's 2, and then he has a couple down the block where he has a couple
3
more
buildings of how many in each building? Do you know?
Looks like there are 15 per building.
Oh, 3 buildings.
The name of it's going to be on the lease.
Yeah. So, do you have a name on the lease?
Which I'm actually looking through my emails for that right now.
All right, you hold on. We'll come back to you. 303-713-TALK. You know what? Usually, I say this. Usually when people call me, they want to get me on their side. I've said this before. So they tend sometimes to exaggerate the problem. She doesn't sound like she is. She's saying, no, I read the lease. It does not allow him to raise the rent, but he raised it. Well, and then did not give me any notice.
I'll go
and then
find
on
him
top
if
of
that's
that,
the case.
On top of that, there's safety issues.
Yeah, what I was talking about with Mark, what I was talking about with indemnity, you go skiing and there's a bump
Hey, you wanna
or
look
ski
at
into
it?
a tree. Or you hit
Doc,
another
no
tree.
matter what, they have more protections than
No,
any
Tom,
other
no,
industry.
listen.
Tom,
all that protected.
minimums and restrictions apply, right?
But if you go to
So
jail
they've got to do at least
and they
3
didn't put a
rooms,
bolt in the bar,
and we do have
and you
water
didn't fall
fee
fall off,
attached
that's
with
not indemnified.
See, that's the thing. Why don't
Doc,
you
I'm just saying they have more
Yeah.
than anybody
we get so
else.
many
Well,
complaints
it's like
about
going to a
that,
Walmart.
about
You get hit
that
by a
water
ball or a
fee.
bat.
Mark,
If I go go-karting
Yeah.
and there's something on the go-kart track, I can fucking sue the shit out of them.
Right.
You can't do that on the ski slopes.
or on equipment,
Right.
on equine.
No, I agree.
They have more, and as far as the guns, I'm absolutely right. They're the only industry you can't sue them
Oh, no.
when
Well,
they get
no.
killed by somebody
No,
else.
no, the
absolutely
people-
not.
the
It's a
people-
complete carve-out.
but the
Okay.
people
What are you
in,
talking about, Mark?
I know there's been a big lawsuit.
It's
against
called the
against their safety
PLCAA.
35 years ago against the safety.
We're talking 2 separate deals, dude.
Become the banker.
Manufacturers and dealers from being held liable when crimes have been committed with their products. That's the only industry it's carved out for. There's no other industry.
Oh, shut up.
Of course.
BecomeTheBanker.org is the name of the website I want you to go to, because I could never explain all of the benefits in this commercial. And we're talking about an investment. An investment that will help you save money tax-free, and if you do it right, you take it out tax-free. And they even have a plan to get you out of debt in as little as 10 years, including a mortgage. Listen, I know you're being hit up all the time about all kinds of things. This is a solid investment, not your only one, but a great start. BecomeTheBanker.org.
Listen, Mark, where was that place up in New England where the kids got shot at school?
Sandy Hook?
Sandy Hook sued the gun manufacturer.
Mark,
Now,
is
I
there a
don't,
carve-out in federal law, you say?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm saying, but the
For
judge,
what? Skiing or the guns? For the guns.
There's a
judge
federal
allowed-
law?
Yeah.
Mark, the judge allowed that suit to go through.
I'm not saying I don't agree with it, so I don't want to go down that. In fact, I do agree with it.
No,
but they are the only ones that have
I
it.
just didn't know about it. I mean, many times I ask these fucking questions, and it turns out to you owe me a fucking lunch.
Yeah,
already
right.
all his
The
lunches
judge
from
allowed
you,
the suit
right.
to go through against Winchester just recently.
Yeah, but that was because of a defective trigger.
Right.
No.
That's a whole different deal. In fact, though,
Same
not
thing.
long ago, I don't even think they could sue over that. I think Congress
It's
changed that
actually
around
called-
2000.
No, that
It's
was the
actually
that's the
called
biggest lawsuit of its time.
PLCAA.
Yeah, that's right.
It's called, you're reading that one.
Yeah, Protection of Lawful Commerce and Firearms Act.
That's right. So there is an actual law to prohibit civil liability actions from being brought. Wow.
Colorado
Listen to this.
sued after
It's
they don't follow the
manufacturers, distributors, dealers,
Yep.
importers,
That's right.
and ammunition. All of it.
They're the only ones, too. There's nothing else like it. And you want to bring up automotive Ford
Holy
right
shit.
there.
This is
I
strong.
bought used in a crime.
So it should be. I
A
mean,
car
if
used
I
in a
take a gun
crime.
and shoot
This
it,
doesn't
why
matter
should
if
the
it's a crime or not,
No,
really.
but it's talking
You can't
about
sue the
defects in
manufacturer
gun.
for making a deadly weapon. That's the bottom
Oh,
line.
of course.
But you can on a knife, for example. There's nothing to stop me from suing,
Except that
seriously,
it
a
would
knife
be,
maker.
Except it would be fucking dismissed. I mean, come on. There are some, judges don't let every
That's
fucking
fine,
lawsuit
but I'm
go
saying
through.
they still have their own fucking set of
You always
rules.
hear you can sue a ham sandwich. Yes, you
No,
can.
you can indict a ham sandwich. Not sue. You can indict.
Why can't
You can eat.
Well, I guess you could.
Not if you're kosher.
But the saying goes you can indict a ham
Still
sandwich.
do it. You just be unkosher
I
at the
want to
time.
file a lawsuit against a ham sandwich.
We got to legally change someone's name to ham sandwich.
No, I'm just going to do a ham sandwich, and I'm going to give it an address.
You could easily in small claims. They wouldn't even blink.
I want to see. Then I want to get a default judgment. And
Oh,
garnish
no,
the fucking tomatoes.
This ham
Get it?
sandwich-
Garnish tomatoes. It's garnish, and you're going to garnish.
Is Suzanne making these sandwiches?
You know,
You know what garnish is?
Oh,
garnish is a
Suzette.
is a Yiddish word for means nothing.
What
You guys hear that?
What do you say?
If the case falls through, you'll find yourself in a pickle.
You could
You
go
can
on
always
with
take
it
payment
forever.
under the table. Keep going.
So did you say someone did sue?
And if things really get rough,
well,
you can
not
always
bail.
chill.
Excuse your 2017.
Did they win?
Depends on what they were suing for. So I told you, Steve's actually
They won
I'm sure a lawyer
1.2 million.
And you file a brief in order
No, Mark
to,
and
in order
Tom
for the
said
judge
do
to
it.
catch up.
Who did they? What happened?
It was
What
Granby
was?
Ranch.
What was negligent? Granby
Hey,
Ranch.
we'll start another one.
Is that
here.
actually
This
a
is
ski
quite
resort?
entertaining to watch this happen.
Lift was
Mark,
enabled.
guess who has
Killed
the
the
most votes in the New Hampshire primary?
Bernie.
Trump.
On the Republican side, he more than doubled any other incumbent president.
Yeah,
in
the
New Hampshire
outcome was
primary.
huge.
Listen,
Yeah, I know.
the Republicans voted for Republicans, though, right?
There was other people running against him. It meant nothing.
This is something.
Here's what he's saying though. The turnout was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, the turnout was crazy.
Bernie Sanders
What are you
is gonna
saying?
be our next president.
Well, they said,
What are
what
you
they
smoking
said,
today?
You're thinking I'm giving you my preference. I'm not.
He's
Oh
so
no,
full of shit.
but there's no way Bernie Sanders is going to be the next.
You don't watch
president.
that.
He does this just to
Democrats are
argue.
gonna screw
No,
him.
it's not true.
He was like, I was here every day saying how Trump was going to win in 16. He literally fucking called me the night of the election proclaiming Hillary won. I'm not fucking kidding. And he wasn't kidding.
Mark, I didn't say she
Look,
won.
it's a landslide. Told you, Mark.
Mark, I said that like 20 minutes after the polls closed. I said, looks like a landslide, bro.
I think he'll get reelected.
Oh, crush it.
now what they said New Hampshire was that in 2012,
Hi, Tom Martino. Okay, here we are, the show behind the show. During this break, we were talking about all kinds of stuff, but what was that one thing we just talked about the indemnifying companies? And we talked about, Mark said, the only federal law to indemnify an entire industry that he knows of. We have a state law in Colorado about the equine industry, but federally, there's a protection of lawful commerce in arms, meaning anything to do with firearms is indemnified against negligence or lawsuits in most cases. I mean, most every single case. You can't sue gun makers for basically anything. So, you see, you should listen online, YouTube, Facebook, also referralist.com. We let it run, right, during that too. And then we have little commercials on our feed, of course, on tops and bottoms, and we have all kinds of stuff. But it's a great way to watch. You can see what I look like, and not that you would care. If you lived here for years and years and years, you saw me on TV, and I looked nothing like that at all. In fact, people say that. I look nothing like that. But I digress. Who the hell cares? Let's talk to Beth. Did she find the clause in the – did she find anything we need, like the name? So we can call this landlord, and I want to get a copy of the lease. Okay, Beth, what you told me sounds impossible. You moved in with a 6-month lease, and you said even though you had a 6-month lease, not only did the landlord raise the rent, but raise the rent with 2 days' notice or less with a verbal knock on the door or whatever saying, hey, by the way, your rent's going up in a couple days. You got to give us $75 more. And I can't believe it. Then on top of that, no smoke alarms. And how'd they break the lease? Some other way. They said something crazy. Bugs. Yeah. But smoke alarms and bugs. Do you have the lease there, Mark? Okay. Are you there, Beth?
I am.
We're going to call this landlord. If what you say is true, Mark, she has a lease and they raise the rent without any notice in a few days. We'll get right back to you after we read it, okay? Christina, what's going on with you? Christina, you're the one with a storage issue. What's happening? What's going on with you?
I had moved everything I had owned in the world, plus the stuff I got from my parents. You know, they deceased within a year, both of them, into the storage unit because my husband had died in March, so I needed to get everything.
Listen, your husband died in March of last year?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so when did you rent the place?
I believe it was right around.
Just roughly.
About October.
In October. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what happened?
I paid my rent. I paid my rent one time only, full, and then.
Well, is it a month-to-month agreement you have with the storage?
Yeah.
And rent was due on the 1st?
Yeah, it was due right around the 1st every month.
I get you. How much is rent, dear?
Rent was $129.
Okay. Well, what happened? What problem do we have?
They sold everything.
What?
They sold everything I had in the storage.
So everything is gone?
Everything I own is gone.
Walk me through this, Christina. Walk me through it. October, you pay rent. November, you pay rent. December, you pay rent, right? I'm assuming.
No. I paid rent in October, and then I got behind a little bit, but I was talking to the manager. And tell them.
But talking means nothing. You were talking, but you fell behind. I need to know exactly exactly how. Did you pay all of October in October?
Yeah.
In November 1st, did you pay?
I was behind.
Okay. No, I don't know what that means. Hold on. See, this is what I need to know. And I'm not judging you, Christina, but no candy coating. You said you were behind, but you said, how could you be behind if you paid for October? And November is there, November 1st. You're not behind. You just don't have November's rent. Is that right?
Well, I'm just trying, like I said approximately what day I moved in. I know in November when he sold my stuff,
okay.
I was 1 month and 2 weeks behind.
Okay, but this is what is impossible. You moved in October, right?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. So whenever, it doesn't matter. Whenever you moved in, your stuff was sold for non-payment.
Yes.
And it was sold in November, Christina?
November 23rd, I believe.
Okay. Now, by law, there's a whole bunch of things they have to do before they sell your stuff. They have to give you notice and all of that. Now, I'm assuming just because most people in that business, they're not morons. They know what the law is. I'm assuming you got all those notices and stuff.
I got nothing.
Okay.
I got not one thing. I was on the phone with him 3 days before he sold my things, and he said nothing to me about it.
Okay. Now, technically, he doesn't have to talk to you about it. But your stuff was in there, and you were how many months behind? 2?
It does say in the law that he has to contact you verbally on the phone.
No, they have to contact you in writing mostly. I never heard of a verbal notice.
Yeah, they have to try and call you. Any means possible, it says to contact you.
Okay. Christina?
And they ask people on my phone, everybody else's phone. I got nothing in the mail.
Christina, when your stuff was sold, Was it sold all at once?
Yes,
To one person?
I believe so.
Okay.
I mean, I was there when they did it. I was there with money in my hand to pay for it, and they sold it anyway.
Well, it's too late. How much did you owe at the day of sale?
$260.
That's all you owed?
Yes.
How much was rent every month? $129?
It was $120 something, but he put on a late fee and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. So you were only behind 2 months, right?
Not even 2 months. He said a month and 2 weeks.
Okay. How much was your stuff worth?
It's everything I have.
I didn't ask that. How much is it worth?
My jewelry box alone was probably over $2,000.
Okay. Well. What did you have? Give me the most valuable thing. Now let's talk about two different values. I'm not talking about sentimental now. Let's talk about hard cash value. What's the most expensive thing you had in actual cash value? Give me an idea.
A Liberty safe. Liberty safe about $3,000. I had
a what? A Liberty what?
Safe, gun safe.
And you say it was worth $3,000?
That's not really. It's one of the big ones, the big ones.
Okay. And so.
And it was my dad's.
Okay.
What you need? I'm talking brand new prices. I don't know.
No. Listen. I understand. I'm just asking. The gun safe. What else did you have?
A tool box full of tools.
And what kind of was it? Really good. We're talking really good tools.
Snap-on.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What do you think that was worth? Was it like a big mechanics toolbox, top and bottom, that wheels around?
Yeah.
Well, those damn things could be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $20,000. I mean, was this like?
The box itself was old, but the tools in it was what was.
All right. Why don't you hold on? Let's figure this out. Listen, Christina, if you got zero notice, then they have to pay you.
Did you have anything else happen, though?
She said zero notice, so let's examine.
But she knew it was going to get sold, so she had some kind of notice.
Well, she obviously knew something. Hold on, we'll examine this. You know, these people that say they got no. See, you better keep fucking records. I want to call this store. Oh, wait, I'll have Deputy Doc. Yeah. Call the storage unit and tell them we need to. She is claiming. Now tell them this. Look, you probably did. Okay, just show us. Right. This woman is saying you gave her zero notice, zero mailings, zero emails, zero phone calls.
And also, what is the law?
Oh, it's very complicated.
No, ask them what they think the law is. I'll ask the storage unit what they think the rules are.
Well, the rules are pretty specific, though, if you look it up on storage. There's a lot of protection. Oh, so do me a favor.
Time's running out. $5,000 a week forever from Publishers Clearinghouse.
I'll get the name of the.
Go to her online too.
Yeah,
I'll go with someone you choose.
Online.
Now. Entries due 225. No purchase necessary.
Mile High Estate Planning. They're having some seminars. Now, listen, don't roll your eyes when I say seminars. So many people think, oh, what are they going to sell? That's the wonderful thing. If you go to Mile High Estate Planning and you go to this seminar specifically, there is nothing to buy, even if you wanted to buy something. There's nothing to buy. In fact, you will go out of there loaded with information enough to start your own will and start your own estate plan. That's what he wants to do. He wants to get you on the road on your own, right off the bat. Now, of course, you can use attorney Blake Harris if you need him, and he does all kinds of wills and trusts and beneficiaries deeds and powers of attorney and living wills and all kinds of documents. He's the guy I go to. He's a great guy. But reserve a seat here because they're filling up fast. The 21st and 22nd of this month, just a few days from now, around lunchtime, Crawford Hotel, free parking at the Union Station. So go here for details. MileHighEstatePlanning.com.
Last night you thought a little romance was in the air until your erectile dysfunction got in the way. Maybe you tried and it didn't happen. Maybe you took a pill and it just worked okay. Or it didn't work.
We're missing something on this one.
Mark, that lease doesn't give him any right to raise rent.
Well, how much was it again?
It was started out $875. They raised it to $950.
Well, it says $895 right now. And then if she's ever late, it goes up by at least $100.
What was it,
Bounce
Mark?
checks $45.
Mark, what did the initial rent start out at? $895. So she was wrong. It wasn't $875, which is fine. Then what happens for raising it? It doesn't say they can raise it, does it?
No, it does not say they can raise
well,
it.
Well, then how the fuck do they go from $895 to $950?
But they've got roundabout.
Well, okay.
Like
if she was late, if she's late one day, it's $56,
but Mark,
which puts it at $950.
They raised it in November.
But she's probably late.
She moved in October.
But she's probably late. And
well, on the first move-in, you pay $895 plus she had a pro ratio of $119.
For what?
Because she probably moved in on whatever day.
Part of the month. And she mentioned that she.
Yeah, but if you move in part of October, why would you pay all of October plus a proration?
She moved in on 9/27.
Oh, okay, September. So she paid for a few days. Okay.
The 119. The prorated.
Keep going, Mark.
And then it's $895 per month. She pays electric. She pays.
Something is wrong. Something is wrong.
Well, what's funny is if she's a minute late, she pays $56.
Well, that's fine.
But that puts it at $950. That's what she's saying.
Every fucking month. I mean, she said, here's what she said.
Ask her when she
moved in, and they told her a few days before.
I have a hard time believing a guy. It's possible, but a guy that owns 1,000 fucking units gets away with this shit.
Okay.
I think she's probably just paying late.
I think she's late every fucking month.
Let's just
and
find
she's
out.
getting dinged because it comes out to the $950.
They should be able to give her just a very quick
but now she's
printout.
Complaining about smoke alarms and buildings. And
she also thinks she's going to get her 10 days. That's why she called. She's going to get a 10-day eviction.
For what?
Because she's late.
Oh, so she is late every fucking day.
She never mentioned once.
No, that's more. You're right. She started out that's her final. No, that's her email set.
Okay.
Send me your email so I can see it.
Yeah, she's not telling the full story.
The reason it's $950 is because she's late every month.
But how do you get late the first month? You fucking move in. You pay them when you move in. So you can't be late that month.
And it's probably just a down payment. Just like they take first and last month. Or
I understand. So how did they give her, according to Mark, though, when she had to pay the extra money in November, it was from being late from moving in?
No, it says you should pay $895 per month for rent. The first month's rent or prorated rent amount of $119.33 shall be due prior to move-in.
Right.
Every month thereafter, you must pay your rent on or before 12 noon.
Here's what happened. You're right. If she paid the $119 and moved in, then come October 1st, she was late.
Paid $950.
Yeah, but she should have paid the $895 plus $119 before moving in. That's what she was supposed to.
That $895 wasn't October's rent. That was just a security deposit.
I don't know.
Just like you do in
security deposit. The total security deposit is $895.
Yeah.
So she never paid rent.
No, she paid October.
Due on the date the contract is signed.
But she was late in October, and the lady knocked on her door and said, "Hey,
that.
you owe us $950." And she was late in November, and she was late in December, she was late in January.
Hey, can you put this in a contract still legally? I thought we changed this, where if you sue them, it's got to be in front of a judge, not a jury. Waiver of jury trial. Is that legal?
I don't know. I don't know.
I thought they do mandatory.
I'm Tom Martino, and we're very confused. I want to get right to it. We're here to help people. You can learn about the show. Just go to referralist.com, about us and all that. Okay, so here's Beth. Beth, we need some straight information. I know you called about safety issues and all this, but we got looking, and I need to know something. I don't think we have the whole story. You moved in September 27th, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay, so hold on. But Beth, please, for us, just help us here, because if we can figure this out, we can help you a lot, even with the other things. But we need to know something. On September 27th, when you moved in, you paid, by the way, your rent's not $875, it's $895. You paid.
Yeah, I was going to correct
That's
that.
okay. So you paid the deposit when you moved in of $895, right?
Yes.
And then you also paid a prorated rent for those few days of $119. This is according to the lease.
Yes.
And then did you also pay rent for November on that day, or did they let you wait? Or for October, I mean. You moved in September 27th. Did you pay rent for October when you moved in then?
Yes, I paid the prorated and the first month of October's rent.
But did you
and the deposit?
And the deposit. Okay, so you paid $895 plus $895 plus $119. That's a lot of money you came up with. Okay, now here's what we did find, which coincides with your numbers exactly. So you move in September 27th and paid all this money. Then come October 1st, you didn't have to pay because you already paid for October. Did you pay November's rent on November 1st?
It was paid before November 1st, actually.
Okay, because...
And how much was it?
It was go ahead.
$950.
Now, because you should have paid $895 on November 1st. That's the part we're finding weird. If you are 1 day late or 1 minute late, you then have to pay the extra $50, which would make it $950. So this is what we're trying to figure out. And I know you didn't call about this, but you should be upset, Beth. If you paid all of that money to move in on the 27th, and then you paid your rent for November early, you should not have been charged a late charge of $50. Not only that, they're charging you an extra $50 every single month is what you're saying.
Yes.
They're cheating you. You do know that.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, why aren't you complaining about it? You called up complaining about smoke alarms. Why aren't you complaining about an extra $50 they're taking from you every month?
Because I have a new baby and the safety thing just kind of seemed like more.
I know, but didn't it upset you that they broke your lease? I mean, and they.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so Mark, if what she's saying is true, see, we all assumed something. I'm just going to be right out with it, Beth. We assumed you moved in on the 27th, you paid all that money, and then you were late, which triggered a $50 late fee, and that's why.
When did you have the baby, by the way?
January 18th.
Oh, man.
What?
Baby's not listed on this.
Does it have to be?
It says every single person. I'll tell you after the break.
Well, I don't think. Did you? Okay, hold on. We got to figure out how we want to handle this and all of it, okay? So hang on. We should call this landlord, though. That landlord is taking advantage of this new mom. I'm Tom Martino. You got more to come. Some law firm.
How do you read that?
Shane, you have the same mindset I do, by the way, and that is, really, and it's because I want to help people. But I go in with the mindset that consumer is wrong. And there's a reason for that. I do that with problems because it makes me ask hard questions.
Yeah.
Then it usually helps me help
Why do you
them
think
better.
that?
I think we'll go in.
Otherwise, I
mind it. We're not going to go like.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about a
the
business
consumer's
owner.
always right.
I'm not talking about a business owner. I think a business
first of all,
owner,
you can't do it
no
till
matter
the
what,
baby
should be
born.
very concerned with anything they do.
Yeah.
Because perception is reality. Unless you got
Well,
enough.
I agree with that 100%. Until it's there, it doesn't count. I don't argue that. But you're saying.
But when you're sitting here listening, don't you find a great majority of the time people are wrong?
Yeah. That's kind of my default. I don't know if I necessarily like that. That's my default.
I know it's Mark's default, my default, our default. We've become like that. And you know what? We're here to help people. But we've become...
You go through enough situations and scenarios...
Right, Mark? Isn't it fair to say that we skew thinking... And I think it makes us more effective. We consider the consumer wrong and ask all kinds of questions, right?
Yeah.
We make them prove it to us. I think that's
because if you're going to stick your neck out on the line and go back to that landlord or that business owner, you better have your ducks in a row.
Mark, you ought to call the landlord because I'll bet you they'll tell you in 5 seconds why they're doing that.
Do they even know she has a baby either?
I agree with Mark. If they have someone have that many properties...
How can the baby... I mean, she was obviously fucking pregnant.
I don't know, man. I'm just reading what it says.
I think that'd be
this
tough.
says the apartment will be occupied only by the residents listed above. The only one listed there is her. The owner agent must approve unauthorized occupants in writing living in the premises for longer than 3 days per month. If other residents are found, rent shall increase by 50% and the deposit shall increase by 100% due immediately. I don't know how the law reads. I don't know.
Baby, I don't think
They're not going to.
Mark, will you call the landlord know about this situation?
There is no info.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. I have actually, the agent is Old Dominion.
Old Dominion, let me look that up here.
There's no contact information.
All I find under Old Dominion's a trucking company everywhere.
No, we need to call them.
She's got no way to contact her landlord?
I don't know.
Does that not have to be in the lease?
And see, and that's another thing is they said they shut her app down to pay because they were. I sent an email ready to evict her.
Yeah, but why are they evicting her?
She didn't say.
If you're
She's fucking not telling us something.
if you're on time.
Why would the landlord give a shit? If she's paying and everything's cool, they don't give a shit. That's what they do. They rent property.
Yeah, there's not.
Has it got an address on there? On the Dominion Apartments? Mark, is there an address?
No, there's not, man. Her address is right here.
What's the address
There's
on there?
nothing for the landlord?
I mean, I haven't dug super hard, but no.
It's Federal Heights? That doesn't sound like a good area.
When I was trying to hire the right person, I knew I needed somebody eclectic. I would have never found Kirsten without LinkedIn jobs. A resume is a piece of paper, but you're not going to look at 1,500 pieces of paper.
This month, we tried to pay rent. Admittedly, we were about a week late.
See? She said she's never been late.
This month. She didn't say that, did she? Because in her email, she definitely said she was late.
And why does she keep saying we? Who's the we? The only one on the lease is her. Is we the baby now? This month, we tried to pay rent. Admittedly, we were about a late week. We tried to pay through the payment app as always. It kept declining. Then we received a 10-day notice, which has the landlord's number so we can contact him personally.
Send that over, the landlord.
He said he shut down our payment portal in preparation for eviction. So we have been getting charged late fees on the rent because we couldn't pay through the pay portal, and we're not notified of it being shut down.
Why do you think he's going to... How do you...
He is also trying to charge us $100 for a key.
Why doesn't everyone just do the fucking math?
We have personally made 2 keys.
Why is it? When he says he's going to tax the billionaires, right?
I feel like my newborn is not
He
safe
just
here.
did the math.
There is
I'm
violence.
serious. I'm so fucking tired of hearing that. With 280 billionaires, right? If you took every penny they
Can we get her? Can we get the landlord's phone number from her? I'll go ask her. Actually, I'm gonna try to call him.
And you know that there are some motherfuckers talking.
You want to take this? You want a pen to write it down?
90%. How the fuck can OAC say we should tax 90%? Shane, if they told you everything you make over $1 million, you were taxed 90%.
I wouldn't make over $1 million.
And who would?
No, you wouldn't.
Well, I think it's only fair.
I think.
But why doesn't anyone?
It's the wave of the future,
right? It's pleasing, so no one's going to go do the math.
I'll move to Canada
to go do that.
I'll bet you don't. Lunch.
I'll tell you what I would do. You can take residency in Switzerland for $1 million still.
You can buy.
Hey Mark, what if you?
I think it's $1 million bucks.
You take residency in Canada cheaper.
I'm changing my name to
Afghanistan's free.
Sven.
They'll throw in an Iraqi membership too.
Mark, Sven.
I was just in St. Lucia.
Doesn't allow them to do it.
There for
No, they
$4,000.
Who?
St. Lucia.
I'm going to try to call them.
Okay.
Down in the Caribbean.
Why would you want to buy?
Tom, we're working on getting public service, public storage to get.
And then if you've got enough money to run through there.
Suzanne and I are working on that.
That storage, it's got to be more,
Yeah, we're working
more
on
than a month and
if
2 days.
anybody
They got to
takes-
put something in the paper and everything.
If anybody takes a few minutes to think through that and use common sense, you know that it's bull crap.
There's
They're promising
13
and saying.
people running against AOC.
I love that.
No, I don't love it.
I love it.
Because it's too many people. It's going to dilute it. She's going to be
they'll whittle it down, but that just tells you people are sick and tired of her
Shane,
crap.
This water fee, is there a way, can't you put that in your pricing? If we get complaints about you guys, that's the fucking thing we get.
I've never heard of one complaint from
We've
you
had
guys.
a dozen. I'll tell you, we've had a dozen because it's not worth. There's fucking nothing to call about. It's just what you do. And look, and all we say is,
I thought we sent that to you.
we have had at least a dozen. But they're not really upset. They're just saying, well, why didn't you just tell us?
Right.
And Shane, it really, I'm telling you as a friend, it just sounds jacked, especially if it's every single time. It would be different if certain conditions apply, but it's like giving a price and then, but you add this fee.
Well,
it's just weird. I'm not saying you're doing anything bad
or
on purpose. We love you guys. Okay. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. All you have to do is go to that website and put in my name, Martino. There's a coupon code at the end. It'll get you 20% off for the rest of the month. RealCBDThatWorks.com. That's because I love this stuff. I take it. I'm just a believer in how pure and scientific this company is with a lab right here in Golden. RealCBDThatWorks.com. Look, we're a promoter of business, but we also go after business. We're a promoter of consumers, but we go after consumers. We love to think of ourselves as objective when gathering information, but then we turn and take a point of view. You see, we never pretend to be neutral. We're not. We're only neutral in the beginning when taking information. And in fact, I tend to grill consumers as if they're wrong on purpose. So I make them explain their story so we can help. That's the way we do it. We also have a referral list where we really keep people accountable. And today, Shane dropped by from Zero Res of Denver to say hi. We'll talk about carpet cleaning as part. And one thing I know Buddy Mitchell told us for sure, he said, the less you put in the water, the better when cleaning carpets. And that's what they do. Nothing. They do nothing. They do nothing. They're good for nothing. They're good for everything. No, their water is good for nothing. They don't put anything in it except empowerment. I don't even know how. No, they align. They do empower the water. It is I don't know if you call it, what is it?
The science is there. You go look at electrolyzed, oxidative.
What is it, alkaline or the other?
You get both base and alkaline water.
Okay.
But it's electrolyzed oxidative water. We've just taken that technology
and
put
know
it
you
into
have.
Carpets.
And it's for real. It's a real deal.
Science.
No, I know that. And it's better for carpets. Now, Beth, we're working on your problem as we promised you would. We would. If you have to explain the show to people, and it doesn't matter if you're young, old, if you're a fan of Facebook or a fan of Reddit, this show can help you. We just help people with problems, and everyone has problems across all walks of life. So Beth says she moved into an apartment with a lease, and they broke the lease by raising the rent immediately without even a written notice, a verbal notice within a couple days. It sounds strange to us. Right off the bat, it just sounds strange. We did find where they can raise it $50 for being late, but she claims she's not late. Then Christina, I don't know where she went. We wanted to help her. Is he working on it now? Good.
We both are. I'm in touch with Public Storage,
now,
Tom.
Christina, this is the main argument with Christina. And Deputy Doc is working on this, but the main argument is she said she was behind on her rent, but she was in constant communication with the manager, but they sold her stuff without any notice. There's a couple things I need to say, which is very important. First and foremost, whether it be a foreclosure, a debt collection, a rent on a storage unit, rent with an apartment, or any bill due, even if you're in constant communication, it does not equal a settlement nor a stay. You cannot assume that actions will be stayed if you are talking to them. They could be doing stuff legally on the side while talking to you, right? to the face. They're not obligated to talk to you, and if they do talk to you, it should not be misconstrued as some kind of a stay of execution or a settlement. I can't tell you how many times people have said, well, I was late on my car payments, 2 months, but I was talking to them every day. I was giving them updates, and all of a sudden my car's gone, and I got no notice. Now, I will tell you this. The same is with them. Even though they're talking to you every day, they have to give you official notice when they do something under certain circumstances. When it comes to storage units, there are specific laws that give you the right to be noticed, and then you can cure or redeem or whatever. But Christina's claim is very simple. She is claiming that she was behind a month or two, she admits, but says that they foreclosed, sold her stuff without saying a word to her. She had zero notice. And I asked Deputy Doc to check this out. I can't tell you how many times people tell us, no, they told me nothing. They did nothing. And then we go and talk to the party involved, and they have all kinds of documentation. What did you find?
Here's what's going on. We reached out. Suzanne reached out to the Public Service Media Relations. They're going to get back to us.
No.
Public storage, media relations.
This is not a power issue, by the way. This is storage. We're not talking about Excel. We're talking about the public storage.
Right,
what
public
did they
storage.
Say? No, I understand. What did they say?
Suzanne reached out to Media Relations. They're going to get back to her and get her in the air tomorrow, I believe. In the meantime, I spoke to Christina, and she said...
really grilled her about notice.
Yes, and she said that apparently she signed a lease, but they do not give paper copies. They only email a copy of the lease, and they never emailed it to her. So she,
But she is still claiming they never told her a word.
Right, absolutely.
No notice of being late.
That's what she's claiming.
No final notice, we're going to sell your stuff, nothing.
Correct.
I'm just going to ask you gut level. I have a gut feeling that's not true.
I find that hard to believe.
I don't know. I mean,
any reputable business is not going to run that way and stay in business. If you run like that, you're going to get run out of town in nothing flat.
Now, obviously, we're here to help people, right? And I do want to help her. And if truly this happened, then she should get paid or get her money back.
And she said she gave you some of the contents of her storage unit, and she said the entire storage unit was sold for $960.
And how much is she claiming was in there?
Well, she told you had
well, just 2 items came to almost 10 grand. I mean, this woman is claiming she didn't have a pot to piss in, but a storage unit worth 25 grand. I mean, why is it whenever anybody has a storage unit foreclosed, it's always 25 grand?
I thought she said 2 grand. She said 25.
No, 2 grand was one item, Mark. One item. Another item was 3 grand. If you add this stuff up, people get silly. Now, come on, people. You got a storage unit. You can't afford a place to live. You're staying on a couch with friends, yet you got a storage unit worth 25 grand. Now, granted, our stuff is worth a lot to us, but let's face it. I'm looking at my storage units in the past of my life. I don't think I ever had a storage unit with more than $1,000 in it when you really get right down to it. I don't know, Mark. So, what about this apartment?
I got the whole skinny, man. I just talked to the landlord.
All right,
okay, hold on. That's going to be wonderful because I want to know why this woman says they raised her rent with a 6-month lease with no notice whatsoever at all, plus all the safety issues. So we're going to talk to her, talk to Mark, and Ross, whoops, not you, no, that was a mistake. Ross, I want to talk to you, too, about an HOA problem. We want to get started, though. Is it Russ? Russ, what is the problem, Russ, if you had to sum it up in a sentence, and then we'll come back to you?
Yes, sir. We bought this property 8 years ago. It's a 175-acre property. We had paperwork that said that we were exempt from the HOA, and now they're wanting to collect dues on this property.
175 acres?
Yes.
Okay, and it's unimproved, or is it subdivided into lots?
The 175 acres is subdivided into 4 lots.
And are those 4 lots unimproved, or have you sold them?
No, they have improvements on them. Well, One of them have improvements, and the other two are just classified as ranch
Okay,
land.
did you subdivide the 175?
No, they were already subdivided when we bought the place.
Did you buy the entire 175 acres?
Yes, we did.
And when you bought the entire 175, you knew you were buying 4 lots.
When we bought the 175, we knew that there'd be 4 lots, but we.
You knew. In other words, at the time, it's really important. That's why I'm asking. At the time you bought the 175 acres, on paper, they were 4 lots.
On paper, yeah, the taxes all come into separate.
Okay, Russ, that's what I needed to know. Thank you. I'm going to come back to you and more coming up.
In answer to your question on that fee, we separate that out, right? We pay our guys on commission, what we book and what we upsell. So we separate that out because we don't pay our guys on that fee. Now we pay franchise fees on that. Okay. And so that's one of the reasons why we separate that out. We also think it's pretty transparent to say this is the cost of the carpet stuff and this is what we're going to charge.
But we should do it in the ads. We should do it in the ads. We should actually give the price.
We do. Every single phone call.
When you say 33.
33 per area.
Plus how much?
It's a $14 water fee, right?
For the whole job or for each area?
The whole job.
Okay, then I need to say that, plus 14.
But that's why we put minimums and restrictions
But if I,
apply.
okay.
Well, that's the first time we've done that, though.
No, it's not.
No.
You've had an R.
I'm saying it's not the first time we've said restrictions, but
so
I'm just saying it's not good marketing. That's all I'm saying. It's just not good marketing. We got to figure out a way to do it. Who do I have? John Fuller is a personal injury attorney that I highly recommend. And if you need someone, and you do after an accident, you call him. Now, let me tell you why you need someone. Everyone has questions, no matter how minor the accident is or how major it is. If you're in a traffic accident, he's our automobile traffic and truck and motorcycle and pedestrian and bicycle expert when it comes to all things personal injury. Call him for free advice. And if he takes your case, it's because he thinks he can win, and he only collects if he collects for you first. PersonalInjuryCO.com, 303-597-4500. No, I'm not. Listen, you understand this has nothing to do with operations. This has to do with how it comes across. And so, if they do 5 areas or 2 areas, there's going to be a $114 fee. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we don't tell everything about what it is on pet treatments, right? There's a million different things you can do. I understand what you're saying, but at some point in time, you've got to go, okay, here's our room special. Here's our 3 areas special.
But I don't have any other people that do that. What they do is they say, you know, $39 to find any problem, but they don't put any other fees in it. I'm not suggesting you do it a different way. What I'm saying is, Shane, I know, I swear to God, that we get complaints about it, and that means it leaves a taste in someone's mouth. Is it bad? I don't think it is, but I think that it's at the last part of the deal. It's the thing they remember rather than, oh, these fucking guys were great. Now, granted, we get great reviews about you. We're just discussing. We're discussing this $14 fee. I told them I've counted at least a dozen complaints.
Not for a while.
No, that's true.
Not for a while.
But we haven't pushed it for a while. Okay. What's that?
I'm here every single month.
A month? No. What I'm saying is, Shane.
It was right after you were here.
Mark, it's not fair to him to tell us. If we get a complaint, what is it about? That every fucking time.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm just saying,
isn't that a shame?
Last year we had a shitload of them. This year I haven't seen many of them.
Okay.
I didn't know if you changed something.
I don't think.
Do you guys tell them when you're on the phone with them?
Now that is fine. I'm totally fine.
So they know that.
Online, if they book online,
in fact, that's fine. Then maybe these people didn't hear it or something.
Or they booked it online and didn't read it.
See, that's another thing, right?
They
didn't hear it, right?
Yeah.
Customers will hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, but if they did it online, they might have breezed through it.
Shane, people are not going to say on something like that they didn't hear it if they did, because they wouldn't complain about the $14. It doesn't make sense. They don't want to get you there and then pretend. in other words, I know that consumers exaggerate, but that's one of the things they
look, man.
It's not important enough to them to lie about that. It's a pain in the ass.
In my former life, shop supplies were mine. I never knew what to do about them. I'd sell a $14.95 oil change. By the time
and
it was done, it was $22.
Yeah.
But every fucking person in the industry does it. What was I going to be, the only sap that doesn't do it?
I know.
You see that the fee, everything you do.
Other carpet cleaners do.
It's almost like for a while. Remember, everybody was charging a gas fee.
I don't see it with everything. You don't see it with everything.
Tom, there's fees. You look at airlines. You look at any service that you
airlines.
do. There's
How about,
fees that are.
I'll tell you one that absolutely drives me crazy. You book a hotel and you pay for it. You show up and your resort fee's another $50 a day.
Exactly.
But now we just like automatically know it. And it doesn't. Have you ever been to a hotel that charges a resort fee and they don't even have a fucking swimming pool?
Here's the deal.
So I hear what you're saying.
The fucking thing, look, if I never heard about it, I wouldn't mention it. I don't care. If you get 100 calls and only book 50 of them because of it, or if you book all 100,
we're not,
God love
we're not
you.
losing jobs because of a $14 water fee.
No, it's not the $14. I don't know how I impress this. I've said it a million times. It's not the money.
It's the transparency.
People feel fucking weird. They just feel weird about anything like that.
It's transparency.
Only because we harp on the special $33 a room. Okay, plus a water fee. Okay, I don't even have to say that in the ad. Not truly. If you say that on the phone,
is it 14 per room?
No, that's the.
I thought for a second there I was going to jump on.
And
if we're right, we would put it up.
The only thing I think we should say in the room is the 3-room minimum. But I have no problem with it. You know that. I have no problem with it. I'm wondering why it bothers people.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it out to consumers. We love Zero Res. In fact, we get great reviews about Zero Res. And I want to ask opinions right now because they're so transparent. They're just good, straight, wonderful people when it comes to doing business. So let's talk about Zero Res of Denver. They're doing rooms, $33 a room, 200 square feet, okay? I mean, obviously, they got to put a limit on it, right? So around 200 square feet. But here's what it is. $33 per room, and you have to do at least 3 rooms. Now, here's what I want to ask you. When you call, and they're going to politely explain to you, oh, by the way, you know, based on no matter how many jobs you have, there is a one-time just a $14 water fee. And there's a reason they do it that way, by the way, and people in business will understand. That $14 is separate because they're not going to pay their person a commission on a water fee, okay? So that's all. It's just something very simple. And we never get complaints about how these guys clean carpets. And right now, this special, I'm going to have them $33 a room, and you have to have 3 rooms done.
But it's unlimited rooms, right?
Yeah, I understand.
That's normal price, $55 a room.
I know. So, there's no problem with that. In fact, I've paid full price plenty of times for you guys. And sometimes I get a friends and family discount, whatever. But I've had my entire house done. These guys even, by the way, I don't know if you knew this or not, but when I moved into them, they stretched the carpet for me.
Oh, that's cool.
They made it look like repairs. They made it look like brand new. They do repairs. But anyway, $33 a room for cleaning. You do at least 3 rooms, unlimited, $33. Now, here's what I want to ask people. When you call, they explain there's a $14 charge on top of that, not for each room. No.
It's a total job.
For the whole job. How do people feel when you call? Now, they don't wait till they're done to tell you. They tell you right up front. So when you call 303-471-5150, or go to Zero Res Denver, you'll see it written, zeroresdenver.com. It's a disclaimer on there. Or when you call them, they'll say, okay, how many rooms is that, sir? All right, that'll be $33 a room. So that's 3 rooms. That's $99, plus you're going to pay a $14 water fee.
Transportation, and disposal fee.
Whatever, yeah. Because that's not added to the job because, as I said, you pay your cleaners based on how many jobs they do, not on how much water they dispose of. So here's the bottom line. How do people feel about that? I don't have a problem with it if it's told to you up front, but how do you guys feel? You've all booked hotel rooms, right? Do you know how many times I've booked a hotel room for $49 or whatever it is? And I get there and I go, what? This fee, that fee, this fee, that fee.
Resort fees.
What about
Almost
airlines?
Every hotel.
What about airlines?
Oh, taxes and fees are crazy. How about you got to pay for a seat? I mean, who would think of that?
With
No one
airlines,
No one questions taxes, by the way. I don't think, right, Shane? No one. Do you?
We don't. Because it's a service, we don't have to put a tax on it, so we don't have taxes.
So you don't even come up against
and the invoice breaks it all down.
No, I know.
So,
and no one is suggesting there's anything wrong with it. Because garages, I've had arguments with our shops, and one explained it to me in a really good way. I said, shop supplies, and then they put like $11 or $15 or whatever. And I said, why do you do that? And they said, here's why, Tom, because whether we're doing a tune-up or we're doing a transmission job or we're doing something, if we charge just for that job, okay, then at the end of the month, there's all kinds of things not included in that because that's the mechanic doing that one job. Yet that mechanic is using our facility and our shop supplies, and the only fair way to do it is distributed among the jobs in some kind of percentage.
It's still a profit center, and I was in the business
I don't know.
forever.
They
It's
claim,
a big profit center.
Well, I don't know if they're doing it for a profit center. The way they explained it is they didn't put it into their jobs because they wanted to be compared accurately when somebody says, how much is this transmission or how much? And I said, but
I agree with that.
But I said, but here's what I said. If they can't have it done without it, then your transmission truly isn't $1,400. It might be $1,495.
It's still a profit center no matter what.
Mark, it doesn't matter what the hell you call it. The point I'm making is that it is part of their pricing.
It's acceptable as well.
Okay, so why don't they just include it in their actual price?
Because when you advertise something like a 1995 oil change, you want to advertise it under $20. You don't want to say it's actually $25 after disposal fees and shop supplies.
I think it's BS is what I'm saying.
But
that's what I think.
That's just standard.
I don't care if it's a standard.
But
I don't
it's also
like
operational.
it. I'm just saying I don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm not saying it's bad or
when
good.
When did Domino's and Pizza Hut start charging for delivery? When I was growing up, if it was a $10 pizza, there was no delivery charge. Now there's a delivery charge from all these places. Every single one of them. I don't know. When did it become standard?
But when you call, and when you call and say, how much is a large pizza? And they say this.
Yep.
Are you going to come pick it up? There's a delivery charge of this much. I don't mind that.
Same on every coupon and anybody ever prints in automotive. It
but
says shop supplies, taxes, and disposal fees extra.
I know. But when somebody calls and says, how much is a brake job? If a brake job is $79.95 plus shop supplies, then I think you ought to just give the real price. It's not $79.95.
But it's going to vary, though.
Huh?
That may vary. That the shop.
Here, I'll give
prices may vary.
Here's a good variance.
On what you do on that.
Here's a good variance. You come in with your big diesel truck, and I'm topping off all of your fluids. Your fluids might cost a lot more than some little Ford Focus that came in already filled with windshield washer fluid. So you do distribute it evenly across the spectrum. But at the same time, I do want everybody to realize, just like resort fees, shop supplies, and disposal fees, it's all a profit center, though.
And really...
It's a line item that makes money.
Okay, Mark. Everything, but a profit center, that's like saying I'm in business to make profit. I don't care if you call it a profit center. It doesn't matter to me. And by the way, it may not be a proper
It is misleading.
Profit.
When people make money on a disposal fee, it doesn't seem like they should.
That's right. That's what I mean.
But my whole point is they do.
But there are fees associated with our water. We create the fluid at our shop, right? We pay for that.
Well, of course you do. But all I'm saying is...
have to offset that price.
I know that, guys.
And
but the price is the price. If a person can't get out without paying it, then in my opinion, it's part of the price. It's not extra. It's the price.
You're breaking it down. I think it's more transparent.
Why not put down my kid's college tuition and my kid's braces?
That's taking
I mean, if we're gonna break down stuff, let's break it down. Oh, and by the way, this is my alimony. I mean, what I'm getting at is we make money on things, and when people call for a price, they want to know the price.
You know what's funny about what you just said with kids? I just realized this. You realize not only do I pay for all the credits for the kids to go to college, but at the same time I got to buy the dang books. Why in the world don't the books come when you're spending a fortune on the class?
Well, that I have no idea. That's because the publishers sell them separately. You're not buying them from the college. There are plenty of courses that the college provides where the instructor includes.
Hey, at the end of the day, do the customers get value? Do they believe they've got value for the service that was provided? Is the company transparent in it? Yes, we are. We tell every customer.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about pricing in general,
right?
I mean,
do they feel like they got value?
But here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. All right. They hear me say $33 a room or a $19.95 oil change or something. And then they say, oh, by the way, we have shop supplies of $11 or $5 or $6. All I'm saying is this. I don't care what anyone says, they think in their mind, this is what they think. I don't care if it's legit or not. This is what a consumer thinks, and you guys can call and tell me if I'm wrong. You think, okay. There's the little gotcha there. There's the little gotcha. It's a little gotcha. It's just a little gotcha. I mean, it's not devious. It's not bad. It's not evil. It's not illegal. People get great value. It has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is pricing. If it varied for each house, if some consumers don't pay it, if it varied depending on certain things, then I would say don't put it in and say prices vary based on this or that or whatever. But it doesn't vary in most cases. It's a flat fee in most cases. 303-713-TALK. Okay, we found out, Beth, about what did the landlord say? Why did they raise the rent? She is claiming she had a 6-month lease. And can you tell me at least part of it?
Yeah, I'll give you one little.
And then we'll come back.
He never has raised the lease. Period. End of story.
Has
not raised the rent.
She's been paying $8.95.
He said he has not increased the rent. Period.
Beth? I can prove it.
How would you prove it, Beth?
I have what I've been paying on their website. I screenshotted it.
I'd love to see that. Can you send that to us?
I would love to see it. He said the rent is exactly what's specified.
$895. She's been late.
Okay.
I was wrong on when he upped the rent, though. It was December, not November.
Yep, send us that. We'd love to see that.
But he's saying it's because you were late. Is that right, Mark?
He did not say it was because she was late, but she is late right now by a long ways.
Yeah. On that, that's actually because he shut down our payment portal and didn't notify us. So when we were going to pay it, it kept saying declined, and we're paying cash, not on the card.
He has a text back and forth with, is it Brian?
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Okay.
With Mitchell, he's got text back and forth.
But I want to know, okay.
Well, hold on. Saying, hey, this is last Friday, Tom. So what is that? 214 a few days ago.
Yeah.
You guys were going to go down with the cashier's check and pay $950, and he gave you the exact address. And basically, Mitchell actually asked, hey, if we pay this, you're not going to go through with the eviction. And the guy said, yes, we are not going to go through with the eviction.
No,
he thought you guys were going to pay it.
He never responded. He never said yes.
Okay, he's responding now. Do you have the money?
If you pay it today, he's not going to evict you guys.
You should have the money, right? Because you had it before.
We have the money.
Okay, he's saying go down there today and pay it with a cashier's check.
And you got to give them a key. You were complaining about the bugs. The only way they can take care of them, in all these units, they have a key to all the units there. And they go in once a month and they spray all the units. They have not been able to get into her unit, according to Mike, because they don't have a key.
Okay.
That's not true.
So he does have a key?
We've given him 2 copies. Actually, we've given him
What? This guy is a flat-out liar, according to Beth. Hold on, Beth. I want to see the screenshot.
Yeah, let's see those.
Where you're paying more rent.
Yeah, let's start there.
Now, as I said, zero res, no matter what discussion we're having about water fees or shop supplies for auto mechanics or whatever, I will tell you my carpets are done by them, and I absolutely love the carpet. Because there's nothing on it when they leave. It's almost dry. It's so clean and perfect. 3 rooms or more, you get $33 a room, unlimited rooms, $33 a room, and that's zeroresdenver.com or 303-471-5150.
Oh,
He's Denver's.
Yes, I forgot to say that. I'll say that. I'll make sure I say that.
Is that shyster?
No, as long as up front.
Of course, shyster.
Because you're telling him right up front, you got to do it by the end of the month.
The last complaint we had, the guy said he was not told when he asked the guy in person right there what it was. And then he said, okay, this is the disposal fee. And he says, okay, put it down the toilet.
We put it down the drain. They charge us for producing it and for putting it down the drain.
And I believe you.
Yeah.
That's all I said. That was the last one.
I wouldn't give a shit.
And we are upfront about it. And so we just need to make sure you say that. What's that?
He said he did not.
You upfront when
I
they call,
guarantee you
right?
that's bull crap.
I don't know. I don't think I have to say it.
Upfront when
Shane.
somebody calls.
Shane,
But
I
not
don't
online,
have to say
but not on
plus
the
water
air.
disposal fee. If you guys tell them on every phone call,
We do.
I mean, that to me,
I don't have
I
a
don't care
problem
about
with
that.
it
Huh?
I don't have a problem as long as they're told. This guy says he absolutely told them before he started. And then he
I
said,
can guarantee you that's full of crap.
Yeah,
Because
it probably is.
he gets an invoice, an estimate
He
that's
said that's-
shipped to him that lays it out
Okay.
before they start,
He
and
said
he gets
got
one
the-
after the job.
Okay, guys,
Every cup ground
just as one.
starting at $1 at Circle K.
I do got a
Limited
question.
time only in participating locations.
And we record every
Life is not always perfect. That's why Joe Lazzara is on our referral list. He is a criminal defense attorney. Listen, whoever anticipates being accused of a crime, but if you're driving and you had a few drinks, you might be. Now, you may be legally intoxicated. You may have made a stupid mistake or been falsely accused. It doesn't matter how you get in trouble. You need someone to represent you at that time. Joe Lazzara has been helping people, my listeners, for 30 years. Joe Lazzara, 303-429-6200. That's 303-429-6200. You can go to his website directly. Lazzara is 2 Z's and 1 R. Lazzara. LazzaraLegal.com or referralist.com. DUI, shoplifting, assault. If you're in trouble, if you know someone in trouble, tell them about Joe. He has flat rate pricing as well, so he doesn't nickel and dime you to death. 303-429-6200.
Okay, you produce an alkaline water and acid water when you do that, right?
Yeah.
Which one do you use?
We use the base.
Base? What do you do with the acid
I
water?
find it interesting. It's like this
doesn't
payment
have enough
includes
of that.
November,
What's
this
that?
one
It
includes
doesn't.
October.
Yeah, we can use that
These
sometimes on
include
pet treatments.
prepayments. It's just weird. Anyway,
And
I wonder
do
if they're
that.
late fees.
The machine that we have now doesn't
Mark,
put it
you're
down
next,
the
bro.
drain.
Mark,
It can
you're
it
next.
just recycles it.
Okay.
But we can get it to kick it out and put it in a 55-gallon
And
drum
let it set.
and let it
Because
sit.
it goes back to where it was.
That's right. Now that only has like a 7 or 10 day shelf life because it'll neutralize and go away.
Right.
But the machines we have
Right
now,
after this?
it used to put it down the drain.
Hold on, guys.
It's extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also reserve a free copy of Van's Money for Deals Guide. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
Master Rooter Plumbing. These guys will save you a lot of money. I can't stress that enough. They even give discounts to single income families. If you just need a new sink installed, maybe a garbage disposal, maybe a new toilet, all the way up to a full-blown sewer line replacement, and generally they'll save you up to 50% from those other guys. Master Rooter Plumbing. Write the number down. They also have 24/7 emergency service. The cold weather snaps and you have a leak, Master Rooter Plumbing. 720-434-3406. 720-434-3406.
So,
Is someone asking?
No, that was from before. That was from. No, I read a whole paper on it. I gave it to my son. So really, so you have a patent, Zero has a patent for using that on carpet?
With our system.
Okay,
right?
okay. The reason I
So
say
the
that
wand, the water, and the brush.
because some company in Japan, whatever, invented this or something, right? And they were actually going to use it on food as a
And
disinfectant.
they still do.
And they still do it.
They do.
Well, that's what my
It's
son was
online
going to
prepayment.
do. He going to school.
It extends the life of the fruit because it keeps the bacteria off the fruit that.
I think that you can use it
degrades
for
the fruit.
anything.
You can.
For like meat or anything.
Chicken,
right?
like Tyson Farms.
They do it?
They do it in their process.
Here's screenshots.
So why don't
Screenshot
restaurants
between her
use
and the
this
landlord.
instead of a chemical?
Ken, did you have a nice weekend?
It's great.
to do anything fun?
No, it's
No,
right.
it's
The
just,
machines
hung
are
out
cheap, right?
No, I know, but if you say you could even sell that, I mean, you're not doing a calendar.
Yeah, right. We lease it from a
Hey, Mike, Mark
Major
Major again.
again.
How are you, man?
Right.
You can make it.
Hey, she sent me over her payment portal stuff, and it went from, it looks like on 11/30, she paid $119.33 when she moved in. I get that. That's in the lease. Then $895, then $895. Then on 11/30, she paid $950. But unlike the other ones that it says includes online prepayment, and then the same thing for 12/29. What does that mean? Why would it go from $895 to $950? Was she prepaying for the month of the future months?
Was that considered a salt? Because this, when I read it, it says it needs some type of salt for the electrolysis to work.
Okay.
In probably older machines, yes. Okay. But soda ash, that's what we use now. And so
it just needs something to conduct the electricity. Like it doesn't need the salt.
Okay.
So that's what soda ash means. What is soda ash? What is soda ash?
Oh shit. Okay. I disconnected.
But see, to me,
could you just, I got you. Could you just look at that and just let me know what the difference is? Because it went from $895 to $950. Just why it did. I see in the lease there's a million reasons why it could.
He wanted to do an experiment there and see,
Sure.
have bugs on there and spray it with two different things and see.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
See what happens. How long? What will it kill?
The more we talk about this, the better. You understand?
Well, I'm glad we did talk about it because now I know
we've never
what's
been
back.
able to talk about a special just to talk. Do you understand?
No, I get
Do you understand
it.
the point?
Yeah.
Okay.
We know we're in the
I'm very confident that we're transparent.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. All right, so Mark is still on the phone with that landlord trying to figure out why more rent was paid, and she said it was, and he said it wasn't. But I want to tell you about One Clear Choice Garage Doors. If you are looking for a garage door company, you see, I feel so good about One Clear Choice. I love sending them out, and people say, what a great experience. The people that I send out, I really believe in, like Zero Res. I have them here. And Chappie over at One Clear Choice, I know him. And I know Mark Szymanski over at Genesis. I know Frank Duran. These are people that we really know. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. They have the most advanced garage doors with Wi-Fi technology, battery backups, time to close features, the new LED lighting that fills the entire garage with lighting. They have the Sidewinder garage door, whatever you need, oneclearchoicedoors.com. So if you have any questions about any of our sponsors, call us. And Beth, we will have a result for that. Now, Ross, Suzanne, I want to take Ross now about this HOA. Russ, Suzanne. Can you guess? I want to talk to him right now. Is he on still?
He just called back, Tommy.
Oh, good. I'm so sorry that he was holding, and I forgot. I didn't forget. We were so taking so much time with these other problems. So, Russ, you bought up 175 acres, and on paper they were subdivided into 4 lots, and then there was an HOA. What is the name of the subdivision you were buying? What was the name?
The HOA it's called Fox Valley. When we bought this 8 years ago, the realtor that was representing the seller and the seller said that this parcel of land was not included in the HOA.
Okay, so Russ, here's what I want to know. Around this 175 acres or these 4 lots, are there other lots? I don't know where you are, but it's really hard to hear you. Are there other similar lots? In other words, how many lots are around you?
Yes, there's a lot of vacant lots or lots that don't have houses on them around us.
Now, they're approximately 40-acre lots, the other ones too, like yours, or are they smaller?
No, they're all around 35 acres.
Okay, so in the old days and still now, they would allow us to subdivide land into 35-acre parcels without a lot of to-do. And that's why a lot of subdivisions from the old days would be about 35 acres because they didn't have to do a lot of engineering and a lot of work, and then we could sell off parcels. I say we because I did several of those large parcels. So you're saying when you bought those 4, they said, don't worry, Russ, they're not part of the others. But what I need to know is what did the subdivision plat show at the county at the time? You obviously examined the plat if you bought 4 lots, did you?
Well, what we examined was what the realtor did. And,
okay, but Russ, what I'm saying is there's a survey, and that survey makes you that survey would show it's part possibly of a filing. And what I'm getting at is no matter what they told you verbally, what's going to overshadow that and supersede that is anything in writing, anything. So what was there, did you sign any kind of HOA documents at the time of closing?
No. What we had in writing was a letter from the president of the HOA at the time the seller had it that said that this parcel of land, this 175 acres, was exempt.
Okay. That's good.
HOA.
That's good. Now, tell me what happened recently. Did they just start collecting or trying to collect? What happened? What sparked all of this?
Well, when we moved there, there wasn't really a HOA. I mean, they weren't really active.
Okay.
And then as the years went on, people started moving out there, and then they started the HOA started getting more active.
Okay.
And
so what happened? What happened that sparked your call to me? What happened?
Well, they sent us a letter and said that we owe them now $400 and some dollars.
Now, how much are they? Are they charging per lot per year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're charging for the 3 35-acre parcels and the 75-acre one that has all the improvements on it.
But everyone in that subdivision got the same letter. Everyone is going to pay per lot per year.
Right.
Okay. I know what to do because I developed these subdivisions, and I will tell you exactly what to do coming right up.
Well, who's telling the truth?
Tell them the truth?
They're going to, he's heading over there right now, so we need to get her back up real quick.
Don't open the door.
They're going to figure out, they're going to sit down and hopefully figure it out. As long as they have that 950.
Shane, I gotta remember on the special that it's only for.
You got to book it completed by the end of February.
Okay. And Shane, I can't emphasize enough. No one's talking about transparency. No one ever accused you of sneaking anything in. That's not even the issue. It's feeling. That's what we're talking about. It has nothing to do with honesty. Nothing. Zero.
I'm just saying. Now that we know it, I know what to combat.
So work must be done by the end. The work must too.
Yep, booked and completed.
Okay, that's a good way of putting it.
You know, if I called up and got that $14.95, if it was said,
hey guys,
what?
Yeah. Customized solutions like
I wouldn't be upset if I was. You told me when I called up.
We walked through.
DenverTrialLawyers.com will get you representation for catastrophic injuries. What's a catastrophic injury? People don't even know. But I will tell you this, okay? Here's what's easy. If you're injured and it's this weird thing, you don't know who to call. I mean, that happens so much. Maybe a product exploded. Somebody has sexually assaulted you or someone you know, a loved one. Or maybe a doctor did not treat you right. A hospital might have done damage. You never really know. It could be some weird kind of twist in a traffic accident. Look, you are hurt. And you're saying, listen, this has some weird circumstances, or this is pretty straightforward, and it's really going to be serious and take a lot of work. DenverTrialLawyers.com.
I'm Rick Edelman, host of the Rick Edelman Show right here.
Hey, Mark,
record every single one of
where should I go to get my oil changed?
We send out a
Where do you live?
confirmation email.
No, I believe I'm saying this. And now that I know, I'll say, hey, you know, you were told that.
We say that all the time.
That's good. That's
always.
good.
So I just bring it
That's why we say customers
we never
hear what
say.
they want to hear.
we never say anything other
I
than
would just
that.
really
We
mad.
always believe.
And when the guy
Pro
when the guy
Auto.
says, okay, just let me put it down the toilet, and the guy just laughs.
They're good people.
Did I just know I didn't?
That's, I think, the closest.
I think I sent it.
Yeah, I mean, they're on Evans and I-25.
Who are we talking about?
I asked him where to go get my oil change so I don't get ripped off.
I tell you, we have some good automobile shops.
Yeah, Pro Auto, I've heard them for ages.
It's okay.
They're
So
good
you put that soda ash in there, it makes the water conductive, so very good. That's what it needs. That's what water needs to be.
Water needs something.
Well, to make the empowered water, they got to make it conductive somehow, or have a salt. They use soda ash in it.
And we stopped using salts.
So, Mark, against teaching them how to do empowered water.
No, I'm not.
with his
I'm
engineering
just
t-shirt.
saying. I read the original paper on it. It was invented by a company in Japan.
It was invented by me, and then I sold it to them.
Right, and Mark didn't Mark trademark it?
It's not as good as that holy water, though, the Pope puts out, man.
Oh,
that
man.
stuff can take up any
That
state.
is good. That is good stuff.
You still watching?
That's how you can tell if a guy is
still watching the
holy.
Pope?
Now
No,
and
not
then,
holy.
because
What
Stephanie
do
won't
you-
watch with me, so
really?
I got to do
When
it
the devil
alone.
goes into him, what do
She
you watch?
doesn't like it.
Oh.
She doesn't.
Possessed.
Young Pope.
That's how you can tell someone's possessed.
You just put a little
So
of that
listen,
on.
They start burning.
on the empowered water,
I threw a
if
little
they
bit
put
at
it
you
in a
and I
bottle,
seen
how
that.
long will it be
It left a little
empowered?
mark on you.
So the shelf life, if you expose it to heat and sun,
Just like in
How
the
about gamma
cupboard,
rays?
in the cupboard. Put it in a
days,
spray
7
bottle.
to 10
Oh,
days.
okay.
Yeah, it may last a little longer than that. The effectiveness will begin to decline. It doesn't like go boom, done, gone.
Right.
But we don't sell it. We can't. We just don't.
I thought Daft said she got some from you. She bought some from you.
We may give some away.
Okay.
Give to her, but
When they
like
do a
1,000
cleaning,
gallons?
they might give you a little sample. You know, I
No, it's
have
supposed to be real good.
Phoenix-
It's supposed to be a disinfectant.
I
the
have
A, the
supposedly.
alkaline side is.
I have a
B is
little
bit,
machine. I have a little machine that supposedly does it. It does alkaline out of one and the other out of the
Acid
other.
out of one. So you
Yeah,
get
the
acid in
byproduct.
one, right?
And they tell you what to use each one for. It's this big.
Okay.
And we put it in a bottle, and I swear to God, it's fucking great.
No, it's also disinfectant.
So the
Yeah.
A water, the acid water, you can swish around in your mouth like cold sores, canker sores, that kind of stuff. Sore throats,
So
it'll kill it.
alkaline and what is the other? What is it called?
Acid. It's an acid.
Acid and alkaline.
Right, alkaline. It's the pH difference.
How come you never drink it like
one
you
is
always say
positive,
you will?
one is this side of the scale, one is this side, right?
Right.
Basic
right.
and acid.
pH
We've
stuff.
gotten
So is it the
people have done that on their website, and the EPA has come down pretty hard
What have they done?
for saying you could drink the water. The EPA will go ape shit.
Well, this machine I have is makes drinking water. That's
Yeah, but
what they say.
Yes, but our water
Yeah,
is going to be a
it's
lot
not-
more potent and
Yeah.
stronger than what's coming out of that machine.
And
But your
if you
machine, you must have to
eliminate
put
acid
something in
water,
there to make it, because you
right?
could, if you put distilled water, it wouldn't make it. It wouldn't do it. Distilled,
it hooks up to the faucet.
But you must have to put something in to make it conductive.
All I do is this. This is a machine. It's called, I don't know, whatever. And by the way, it has a testing kit where you can actually test the
Sure,
pH,
for pH,
and
yeah.
it works. But unless this is a phony kit, but it goes on the faucet, has a filter, and you turn it on, and one that has one out of here and one out of here, and we don't put anything in
Don't
it.
put any salt or
You know the
anything.
worst
There's
thing-
probably something
Aren't
internal.
you?
Gotta
What
be
are you supposed to
conductive.
put in it?
It's got to be conductive, because it's running electricity through that, and that's what separates the two waters as far as the ions.
I don't know if in those machines you probably don't put anything in it
No.
to do it. To get to the levels that you're getting, you probably don't have to put anything in
It's
it.
probably just some metal that dissolves.
You know the worst thing you can do to the planet
Look it
right
up.
now?
Look it up, Kagan. What?
The worst thing you can do to the planet.
Is what?
Give birth.
That is just, who's saying that?
Then I'd be out of a job.
A professor
You are out of it.
of some
All right.
fucking
What's
liberal
the name of your
college.
machine,
Hold
Keegan?
on, I'm looking at
amazing.
it right now.
McCormick.
It's
Say stupid things like that.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, so, Mark, what are we doing as far as this apartment? Beth
He's
is-
going to bring her back up real quick.
All right, Beth, go ahead.
Hey, Beth, are you there right now?
I am.
All right, they're headed over to your way right now, and you guys work it out. Give us a call back, okay?
Oh, okay.
They're going to head
really,
over right now.
They say they're going to take care of this.
He's going to play ball. He sounds really nice. You guys should have that $950. I know you owe like another $60, $70, $80 higher than that. He'll work something out with you. He sounds like he wants to work.
But why were they charging more to begin with?
He's going to go over that with her when she gets there.
Beth,
I will say this. There's plenty of things in that lease, plenty, that allow him to charge more. Plenty.
Okay, so Beth, let us know. 303 Martino's the number. Russ, back to you now. On the subdivision, here's what I would do, okay? Here's what probably happened. It was a non-active HOA. When we develop a subdivision, there are different filings, and many times what we do is a master HOA, and then we sometimes have sub-HOAs, but we have to file them at the time that we do well, you don't always. I mean, some do it afterwards, but there is usually an HOA filing as well. Then the developer controls it until a certain percentage is sold. Then it's turned over to the homeowners. So my first question is the developer still in the picture around here of the entire subdivision?
I don't think so.
Now, next question. Have most of the lots been sold to individuals?
No.
Who controls?
Vacant ones.
Well, the vacant. Do you know who? Yeah, but the vacant ones could be owned by people. In other words, does the developer still hold a big chunk of land?
I think so because this is out in the rural area and they're grazing them.
All right.
And they're not fenced.
All right.
But
what you need to do
marked.
is if you go to the county, look at the subdivision plat. It will show you. It will show you if your lots are included or not. If they are included, it could be that you're included whether you like it or not because it's part of the filing. Now, whether or not you have to pay, that has nothing to do with whether you're part of the HOA. That has to do with who's trying to collect. If a bunch of homeowners get together and they decide to have an HOA, they can't just arbitrarily go to somebody who owns a lot and say, okay, now you have to start paying us. They can't just do that. They have to have the legal authority, meaning that when you bought that subject to all recorded restrictions and privileges and easements. So if you bought it and part of the restriction or the easements or the privileges where you were part of this HOA, then you're part of it. And whoever controls the HOA controls you. In other words, everybody in that would be controlled by the HOA because they bought subject to it. It's just a deed restriction. But that doesn't mean the people trying to collect did it legally or ethically or correctly. They have to get together and do whatever the HOA documents say. So here's what I found is the easiest way to short circuit and get to the bottom line. In a very you don't have to be confrontational. You simply say, I would like to see the paperwork or documentation that gives you the authority to collect from me. That's all you ask. You don't have to do anything. Now, if they show you a filing and if they show you the proper paperwork, if you want to get in touch with us, we'll go over it with you and have one of our attorneys look at it. But that's the way I would do it. Simply say, look, unbeknownst to me, I didn't think I was part of anything. Please give me the documentation that shows you have authority to do this, and I'll happily pay. And then take it one step at a time.
Each day.
You know, last week, Tom,
you don't have to leave, by the way. I don't know if she booked you for...
There is even a C.
Their progress is made possible because of help.
That's actually...
So did you look up, the Kangen, K-A-N-G-E-N. K-A-N-G-E-N.
And if you've been diagnosed with cancer,
man, it's all over. I mean, the people, they say the best alkaline water machine under and over counter, it's one of them listed.
Is the Keegan or the Kagan?
I thought it was Kagan, but I guess it's, what is it, Cage?
You said Kangen.
Yeah, that's the way it's spelled.
Kangen machine.
What's the purpose of it, Tom?
You know, look, I didn't buy it, by the way.
No,
so,
what's its purpose?
It's supposed to make alkaline water.
Holy fuck. Well, it's expensive.
Yeah.
How much is it?
$5
grand.
You can buy one $5 grand.
But You know, we've used it for so many years. How do you even know this working?
You're going to get better drinking water, but you can also get water.
How do you know, though? How do you know, though, if it is disinfecting or healthy or whatever? How do you know, really?
Well, you could look at bugs. You spray it on bugs and see if the bugs are still alive. If you through a microscope, microbes and stuff.
The water, and we've tested it.
I'm not talking about yours. I'm talking about when somebody buys something at home.
In your
How do they
testing
know?
strips, you know
That's true. I'm getting the pH.
Yeah, that's
It's not for the antiseptic purpose.
Right.
Tom wants to know how do you test the antiseptic purpose of it? Right? Is that your question?
Get a microscope, have some bugs on there, squirt it on there. And
So what? Antiseptic has to be basic, not acidic.
No, it could be either one.
They both have properties of that. The acid water has greater or stronger properties or capacity.
Like what's Lysol?
But the thing is this, right?
Lysol's chemical.
No, I know.
You look at how it's physically made, if it's a chemical acid or a physically created acid, they're very, very, very different. I can take our A water and swish it in my mouth, and it's a 4, right? Battery acid is 4, right? If I put that in my mouth, guess what's going to happen?
Why then?
I'm going to die.
Then why?
Because it's a physical change, not a chemical creation at a 4 pH. Right?
I don't agree with you.
What do you mean?
4 pH is 4 pH.
It's not.
Well,
go look at the science to it. You're dead wrong.
It's 4 so you're saying that some 4 pH, but what he says makes sense though, right? If it's 4 pH, what would make
pH is not just a 4 pH is not just a 4 pH. Depends on if it's chemically created or a physical creation. A lime or lemon can be.
So what do you think about Kangen?
But it's not going to kill you.
There's other machines too. That's probably going to be
But
very
a battery
expensive
acid
machine.
4 will kill you.
How do you even know if it's working?
Lysol, it's going to kill you.
How do you know if it's working?
What's that you have to do? You have
It's not the
to
pH
get some bacteria on
that's
a slide,
factor.
microscope.
It's the chemicals
Slide.
that are
You
in
do
there.
it. Watch them move
So,
around.
wait,
Spray it on there.
let me ask you a question.
And
If
then
you
go in there and
have
see if they die.
lemonade,
That's
at
how
a
you.
pH of X, okay?
You don't have a microscope?
And then you have mercury.
But you got a
chloride
Kangen
at pH of
machine?
X.
I don't have a
It's not the
microscope.
pH of
Everybody should have a microscope.
It's the mercury chloride.
What do you use it
That's
for?
going to kill you.
It's how it was
Sitting in the
created,
garage.
right?
No, it's
What about
Don't use it.
What about Listerine?
So when I look at the pH,
99.9%.
Chemical.
Listerine kills 99.9%.
No.
Did you hear that?
Wait, you have a
Listerine's
lemonade.
an alcohol. That's
Okay.
an alcohol.
Stick a
Is
pH
alcohol
of the
acidic
pH
or
is 3.
basic?
I'm just making this up.
Good question.
You have a solution of mercury chloride. You stick a strip in, the pH is 3. It's the mercury chloride that kills you. The pH has nothing to do with it.
But the physical properties of mercury chloride
It's a cool corporate.
is very, very different, right? So we could have an acid.
Yeah.
Anybody says, hey, if you have a cleaner at or above 12 pH, it will ruin your carpet. Not true.
Okay.
Not true.
What I'm saying is, it's not the pH.
If there's something about this
it's
studio,
the chemicals that's giving you the pH.
Acidic.
Something about
we
this
maybe talking
studio.
apples and oranges.
Everyone
I think
comes
Because
to the studio.
if I take a solution and say lemonade,
Everything, no matter
and
what
pH
is
X,
said, there's an
right?
argument.
And I take a solution of mercury chloride.
I'm telling
It's
you,
a studio.
pH of
I
X.
tell Stephanie, I
Drink
said,
it.
Stephanie, I
It's the
swear to
negative,
God,
it's
it's like
the
going to
mercury
fucking battle for
chloride
4
is
hours.
gonna kill me.
I'm in this
Nothing to do
room,
with the pH.
and no matter what the fuck I say,
So the pH is
Hey,
irrelevant.
No, it's not
Mark,
irrelevant.
I'm
Why?
not sure such and such.
Why?
You owe me lunch!
Not.
Not, you're wrong, you're right, Mark.
Okay.
I'm wondering
Lunch!
if, why wonder? You owe me dinner! You mean to tell me? I says, no, I don't mean to tell you, I'm asking. Are there 14 genders?
We'll say, well, they'll say it's a 4 pH.
By the way, I looked it up, there were 14 genders.
Is it really?
Look it up.
Well, different people. There's a professor said there's 100 genders. I mean, whoever's out there, you know.
There are two
You know what?
genders.
If 100% of your DNA, 100%, because it doesn't always say, says you're male, but you don't want to be male, you don't have to be.
Not anymore.
That's what we're saying.
Right.
But what you're asking, in reality, I'm saying, not me, not hateful, if 100% of your DNA is male and you want to be female, it's allowed. In fact, you can not only is it allowed, but you can compete as a female.
Right, but you gotta drop your,
you have to do your
testosterone to a certain level.
Right.
Right. No, because
But
they're fighting this big time.
You can do that with hormone treatment.
There's a big thing in Connecticut. There's a big thing in Connecticut about these
People
girls,
losing
but they're not using testosterone as a determining factor in the trial. They're just saying that these guys.
I never realized that recognizing male and
Olympics
female
is what I'm saying. You got to have
be considered
be below testosterone.
Totally.
Even
all
seriously,
female
people
we
be
are.
below
Yeah.
testosterone.
And here's what's going to happen. We have a faction of our population that is going so far overboard to try not to offend anyone. Anyone.
Yes, every college campus.
I swear to God, you look online, there was a discussion. This one person said that they wanted to be identified as something, as some animal. No, I'm not kidding. They said none of your DNA, blah, 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 and they had the same exact argument as somebody wanting to. They just said, this is what I identify with.
A girl walked into a...
If I want to identify as black, why can't I?
Right. Well, you should be identified as a horse, then you can't be sued.
No, if I want
to... That's right. You can...
equine laws.
Right. And Mark thinks he's a skier.
That was actually pretty clever, actually.
Well, you're talking to me.
Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show, 303-6.
Monday at 4. Hey, guess the left never gets tired of trying to undermine traditional values, break up families. Now, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren want to take a look at legalizing prostitution. What do you think? Join me at 4.
Well, you get arrested. You go inside the girls' locker room and you say, I'm a girl and I'm changing, you don't get arrested. Right?
Exactly.
It's crazy, right?
Now, do I have your permission, Sir Grant?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I am Tom, and I'm here to help. All you have to do is call. Seriously. We love helping in all situations. In fact, we don't even define it anymore. We just say, if you need help with anything, even if it's something we don't normally deal with, we will direct you to the right place. This hour brought to you by Real CBD. Thatworks.com. You get 20% off in the coupon code area if you put Martino, Martino, 20% off Real CBD. Thatworks.com. So welcome. And that's by Panacea Life Sciences. Bob has a problem with movers. I want to get right to him. Then I'll tell you about some other screaming deals we have going on. What's going on with you, Bob? What's happening?
Well, I've been working on this issue for getting close to 2 years come June.
2 years? Why?
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, my son-in-law, when my daughter got married, my son-in-law didn't let me know that he's going to move her across the country. But anyway, they were going to move to
How dare he
Florida.
take your daughter away?
Well, that's what I thought.
You made it sound like you could stop it. He didn't tell me.
No, he didn't.
All right.
That's beside the point. Anyway, so they had to move from Aurora to Florida. They got a mover. I paid for it. They got a mover. I don't know if I should mention the name on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's called Eden's Moving. They had their rep come out and take a look at everything and give them a proposal on
Is
what
it
was going
Eden
to be.
as in Garden of Eden?
Yes, EDENS. And the representative came out, looked at everything, and then he told him that he had a storage unit, and if she wanted to see it, she said, no, just give me the right size, which they did.
So what was the deal going to be? They were going to move it into storage and then into their place?
Well, what they were going to do is I'm sorry, I didn't explain that right. We had their house that the moving rep came and looked, and they had, in addition to moving the house to Florida, they had a small storage unit a short distance away. We prepaid them over $5,000.
Yeah.
At the time when they came, and they had to be out because they had to be out the very next day.
Yeah.
And we said, no, there's more here than what we want. We want another $900.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pay it, we're leaving everything on the...
Yeah, it happens all the time. Now, Bob, I want to tell you what the normal tricks of the trade. One of them is that pickup. Normally, they would do that at delivery. What they do is they pick up everything at one promised price. Then at the other end, they demand more
and then say, if you don't, you get nothing. Now, in your case, it was a little odd. They happened at the front end saying we need more or we don't pick it up. But let me explain something. Many times, it's legit that what they estimated is under what they're willing to do, or vice versa. Here's how it's supposed to work. Okay, I'm going to give you good, better, best. A good company comes and gives you an estimate, all right, and then they do a contract, and then they pack up your stuff, and at the other end, they charge you according to the weigh ticket. So if they were too much, they refund. If they were not enough, they collect more. A better company gives you a contract and gives you a guaranteed not to exceed price. Mm-hmm. And then they collect. Then what they do is they measure and at the end settle up. An excellent company gives you a guaranteed price, period. And they eat it if they miscalculate it. But
well, this was supposedly guaranteed. We got the contract. Well, I have over 100 pages.
It's either guaranteed or not. There's no in between. But there is also something guaranteed not to exceed. Those are very good contracts. And if somebody comes out there, that's usually with some kind of guarantee. That's why they have their rep out there. But right. you threw us a curve. And I know how you tried to do it cleverly, saying, well, they told him they had a storage unit. But if he didn't look at that storage unit, there's the curveball. But here's what I want to know. Here's what really matters. What really matters is the weight. They pay according to the ticket. Okay, that's what they pay. That's what they file with the Interstate Commerce Commission, and that's how they charge. So whether or not they didn't include enough at the front end, I'd rather they tell you there than at the back end. But unfortunately, they may tell you both. You may pay another $900 now, and then what happens at the other end, they even charge more. But you said this has been going on for 2 years, so I have to believe that something happened and it's resolved. I mean, I don't even know what's still open. So here's what I need to know for the sake of timing. Did they pay the extra $900?
Yes, they had to. They had to be out that day.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. So then they paid the extra $900. So what did the total come to?
It came down to $6,000. I don't know. Right?
Whatever.
It came down, $6,000, a little over $6,000.
So let's just say $6,000, and then what happened at the other end? Did they also charge more?
No, they delivered everything damaged.
Yeah, and here's that's the other thing.
That's sort of another issue. But what they did, instead of putting everything in a container on pallets, they just took the boxes and threw them. We have over 82
people always
pictures.
get damaged. Here's how they do damage. Usually they won't pay for anything. Let's get right down to it, and I'll tell you why. If you don't take out the extra, even if you take out the extra insurance, they'll find a way not to pay. But did they take out the extra insurance? Yes or no?
No.
Then they got 60 cents per pound. Okay?
Right.
And that's it. That's all the government requires, and that's all they have to pay. 60 cents a pound. And you sign saying you know that, and you're not going to try to get more. So
even though it was through negligence on their part?
That's especially if it's negligence. They limit liability at 60 cents a pound. If they pick up a TV and smash it, it's 60 cents a pound. Listen, I've made the argument that at 60 cents a pound, you can steal stuff and pay for it and resell it. Really? I mean, Bob, but that's the law. That's all they have to do. Now, obviously, if you could show that they damaged something intentionally or stole something, that's different, man. That's totally different. But in this case, negligence for sure is covered. It's covered. I mean, so you might be arguing for nothing. That's the whole point I wanted to make up front so you don't waste your time. What have you been fighting for 2 years?
I've gone through the Better Business Bureau.
Well, the Better Business Bureau is an advertising agency. What else have you done? I mean, really.
I went through Chase, and for what it's worth, I went through Chase.
Okay, now that's your credit card, right? That's your credit. What did they do?
They ended up, and I just finally got. They ended up giving some money back on it, although I've got a blemish on my
Wait a
record.
minute. Wait a minute. You got money back? That's good. That means that Chase felt you didn't know it all. However, you do understand that when a credit card company, let's say the credit card company says, you know, Bob, we think your move was only worth $5,000, and you had paid $6,000. Did you know that the company can still come after you for the other $1,000? It's not a judge.
The company,
the mover. Yeah.
Oh, no, we paid all that up front.
I know you did, but you said you got money back from Chase.
Right.
How much?
$3,000.
So you mean to tell me you got this move for half price?
Well, no, because all the stuff was damaged. They did
Bob, I'm asking numbers. I'm not asking condition.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay. That is significant. Meaning you must have done something to convince Chase you had a great case. What was Chase sold on?
We sent him 82 pictures, and
then on the other end, that other mover must have not. Did they even try to dispute it?
They just refused.
Refused what?
To pay anything.
No, I'm asking. No, here's what I asked. Didn't they try to dispute your dispute? Didn't they try to fight and defend themselves?
On that, I don't know. They told me that it wasn't covered. We didn't get the additional insurance, therefore their liability was zilch. And then Chase and them tried to work it out. And he basically, from my understanding, the moving company said, no, we're not going to do anything. And that's when Chase stepped in.
Well, so Chase is your company, right?
Right.
The fact that a credit card company would take 50% off of a bill is significant. I mean, it is. They don't do that lightly. But you have to watch out for a few things. Hold on.
Weekdays 2 to 4. The Situation with Michael.
What's that? Count your blessings and walk away.
No, I'm wondering if they had 5,000 pounds of stuff at 60 cents a pound.
What do I have? I'm sorry.
If they considered how much it damaged.
Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. Why do I love Ideal? I'll tell you why. First and foremost, the interest rate guarantee. They simply will refinance you if rates go down free of charge over the next 2 years, and every time you close, you get another 2 years. The other thing I like, they're direct mortgage lenders. They lend their own money. They do their own in-house processing. Here's what that means usually, and you can prove it by simply getting a second opinion, right? They can be 1/8 of a point or more cheaper. Bottom line, cheaper. That's right. Then they have credit optimization. That means they take an approved person like you, but they go one step further and massage your credit. It might be something small like correcting an address or asking you to pay down a balance by $100 or so. They have done this and improved credit scores to a point where people save thousands of dollars a year on payments. IdealHomeLoans.com.
You're right. They have an A+ with the BBB, which doesn't mean anything.
No, but it means something, right? I mean,
so I'm telling you, I just looked up.
But here's the deal, man. You guys have A+, right?
I don't. We do. I don't pay for BBB.
Oh, who does? I mean, and if you don't pay, you don't get as good as if you did. They suck.
But it's a racket. I won't pay.
It is totally a racket.
According to this, they have 504 Google reviews with a 4 to 5 rating. I'm just reading what they say.
Good. So listen, as far as cleaning, what can that water not clean? Is there anything that it just won't work on? Like an organic? Like, does it work on blood?
It's not going to break down blood like you need it to.
Do you have to spot it?
So blood, yeah, we definitely. So urine, we use spotters on different things to speed up the process. But blood, you've got to have. I just totally went blank. Blood, you've got to be able to break down the protein, and so we do use a different product. If you sat there for long enough and cleaned it, it would probably break it down.
Why does the water? I mean, how did it get discovered? Did you read about it?
The company in Japan.
But why? What were they doing?
They use it for disinfectant in the fish industry. That's what they wanted to use it for.
How we came across it is the founders of Zero Res. They managed apartments, and their biggest expense was replacing carpets in apartment complexes. and they came across a doctor, one of the doctors that I think either developed it or figured out that
he said it was developed in Japan, but
yeah,
it was developed. There are a lot of different.
Dr. Hong.
But listen, as far as so when you clean it, it's also disinfected. The rug.
Yes. Now we can't claim that with the EPA.
No.
Right?
Why?
Because you've got to go through all kinds of hoops, and they want their money on it, right? So if we say sanitize, they will go crazy on us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it does. It will. And so we began cleaning with A water to begin with. And then the doctor said, dude, you guys need to clean with B water. It'll disinfect, but it cleans a million times better.
So
than
then what
A
do you
water.
do with the A water?
Right now, we used to put it down the drain years ago.
The
But
A water
it
is
can
the
be-
alkaline, right?
Yeah, but the A water now machine just recycles it. Now we can kick it out and put it in a 55-gallon drum for like pet treatments. It'll take the yellowing out of stains and carpets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
So A water has cleaning properties too.
It does. Yeah.
Does your machine separate them? What does it tell you to do with the two waters?
Separation. Oh, it tells you one is for drinking and health, they call it. The other one is for beauty. They call it beauty water, and then they have certain. But one is for cleaning.
Yeah, you
Which
clean
one
on
is
windows and stuff like that.
One is
amazing cleaner.
No, this is amazing stuff. You have to change the cartridge.
Oh, so your cartridge is adding.
Is
stuff
it?
there.
Is
Yeah,
it?
That's where
You have to change the cartridge like every 2 years.
Yeah.
On your system? Yeah, that's what's getting the alkaline or the acid from.
And prepping the water to be able to
Right,
create
that's what's
it.
doing. Is
So
prepping
what
the
does it
water.
do? What preps the water?
Well, you need it. So it's conductive electricity. Otherwise, it won't break down.
So electricity has to go through the water.
Right.
Well, it's like
And it
if
won't
you're
go
in the
through.
water
And it won't
heater.
go through regular water with regular minerals.
If this is distilled water, distilled water, yeah, it will not conduct electricity.
Yeah, there's no electrolytes.
No, we put faucet water through.
Right, but it's meant to be high enough. You know,
In minerals, you mean.
in minerals and stuff, right? That's what I would assume. I don't know that for sure.
So-
Pure water there.
One of the waters it tells us do not drink, but it's not poison. But don't drink it. You use it for certain things.
That's
So
probably
which,
your acid water.
which one do I use for cleaning?
The B water, the higher pH.
The acid water. Yeah, the one.
Not the acid water. The alkaline.
Basic is high, acid is low.
Oh,
So
low pH is acid.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anything below 7 is acid. Anything above 7 is basic.
Like that acid water, if you put it like if on your anything that has gold plating on it, it'll take the gold plating off. Like that.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. So many people are buying and selling real estate, and I say, go to Frank, man, go to Frank. They said, well, hold on, does he deal with this or that or the other thing? I said, of course he does. So many people think he's just for a medium price house. Other people thought he was just for lower price houses. Somebody else thought they were just for higher price houses. Frank deals in all market segments, and he has team specialists, and he overlooks every deal. So looks over. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Seriously, it's the best decision you'll ever make. 303-713-8255 is our number. And we want to talk to Bob about the movers. But here's the thing. When you have a credit card company that you dispute a charge with and they favor you, that says something. That says that you must have a pretty good amount of evidence. But here's something you need to know. The company can still come after you for the debt and collect it. People think when you dispute something with a credit card and you win, you don't owe the money. Did you think that? That's just the opposite. You still owe the money. The credit card company is not a judge and jury. So, Bob, usually merchants don't fight it after you win. They won't bother coming after you, but some do. But
in this case,
yeah, go ahead.
On this case, when I talked to Chase, number one, they got no money back from the company. They took it out of their money.
Oh, man, is that a great company or what? Holy crap!
No, and I agree with that. No, I totally agree with that, and that's really not the main point. Although I do disagree a little bit with your option, with your statement that, okay, I got the move for a half because that money that we got from Chase went to replace.
Yeah, I was talking about numbers. I was talking about numbers. But okay, but since you're so technical, since you're so technical in nature, I will tell you that according to your contract, the most they owed you was 60 cents a pound. So we can go round and round. I mean, if you want to go by the contract, then they don't have an obligation to you beyond 60 cents a pound, even for negligence. But I don't. Well, actually, I didn't see your contract. I'm just assuming it's a standard contract. But here's the other thing. Okay, what do you want actually? Because you got 50% back, and I understand what you're saying that you were damaged beyond that. But what do you want at this point? What are you looking for?
What? Okay, that was just something I added in because I
That's a big deal. It's a big deal that you got $3,000 back, and especially if they're not coming.
That's great, and I appreciate that. I just thought through negligence that it should have come from the company and not Chase. But my main contention right now is at $900 that we were forced to pay in addition to what we paid.
Yeah, well, my God. I mean, you're never going to get that back, Bob. You paid it. I mean, the time to protest that is when it happened. I know, but you're going to say you were forced. I know. Bob, listen. In that contract, they only estimated. It wasn't guaranteed. And when they got there to pick it up and they went to the storage unit, they're going to say, look, this is way more than we thought it was. Therefore, we want more money.
I have documentation from them, Tom, when we told them what it was and offered to send them pictures, and they sent back. I have the documentation on that. They says, no, we have adjusted the price according to what you said.
Right, according to what you said. According to what you said. Bob, you did not have a guaranteed contract, man. I don't know how else to put it to you. I would love to help you, but I can't. You don't have a guaranteed contract. Somehow you think because they got there and estimated the house, and you said, we have a storage unit, and they said, we adjusted the price according to what you told us, and that's what it will be. You somehow feel that was guaranteed. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's either black or white. It's not guaranteed, Bob. Do you think that was a guaranteed price? I mean, you didn't call the fight with me, but the reason I am so adamant is I want to help you, and you're wasting your time. You got $3,000 back. I applaud you for that. I do not believe you're going to get your $900 back. I don't believe it because you did not have a guaranteed price. In that contract, they left themselves plenty of room, if it's a standard contract, in order to raise the price. All they have to say is, he did not describe it accurately. And then you're going to say, well, we offered to send you photos, and you didn't want them. Bob, how do you argue that? Because they didn't look at photos, they're liable?
When he sent the reply, he sent it to the Better Business Bureau, and he says the size of the unit was wrong. He did not give us the right size. I have the contract that says the size of the unit is exactly what we told him.
You're picking arguments that don't matter. Okay, he said the size, let's go with that. He said the size of the unit was wrong, and you can prove it was right. Then he's going to say, oh, well, okay, we were mistaken. We thought he had given us the wrong size. But when we got there, there was way more stuff than he described. Then what? And then when you argue that, he's going to say something else. And then the ultimate argument is going to be, Bob, would you please show us where this says it's guaranteed? Would you please show us?
I believe at the end of the contract, which is it's a moot point, they sat there and said this is exactly what it'd be.
Bob,
we won't. But
if you have a contract, if you have a contract that says this is exactly what it's going to be, I will fight tooth and nail with my own money to get to win for you. You show me where it says this is the exact price it will be. I want to see the contract. All right? You send it to me. That's the wording on it. It says the price is there, and with the wording, this is the exact price it will be.
I believe so.
Okay, Bob. You go ahead and get me that contract, because that would be the first contract in history that was written that way by a moving company. But I will fight with my own money to take them to court to win if it says that. Tell him how to email that contract. Listen, man, when people call, they might think, now, why are you giving Bob a hard time? Why, Tom? I don't want to give Bob a hard time. I want to help Bob. But when people are spending 2 years fighting a problem because he feels it was a guaranteed price and they should not have upped it $900, and he already got $3,000 back, half. But the stuff was damaged. Now what I want to know is this. If the stuff was damaged, why didn't they fight it when they saw it damaged? That's another argument I can help them with. So, Bob, why did they not admit it was damaged at the site? If you said you have photos of the damage, what was their excuse about the damage?
The 60 cents a pound.
Oh, sorry. So they didn't even have to because of the 60 cents a pound. And what was your refute to that?
Well, they packed a bunch of the stuff. And
No, about the 60 cents a pound. What about that, though? When they said, listen, Bob, we'll acknowledge some damage, 60 cents a pound, what did you say?
I said, no, that doesn't cover it.
Okay.
But I went on the premise, and apparently I was wrong, that I would have had no issue with the 60 cents a pound if it would have been something beyond their control. But when they
I know.
negligence on their part, I thought that would give me some rights. But
right, I understand. Listen, Bob, the entire moving industry sucks. It's really bad. Really. You know what? You actually got, I know this sounds strange to you, you got a good company. You got a company that took $900 extra from you and was honest with you up front and then did not charge you on the other end. You actually got a company that was probably more forthright than 95% of them, plus has 5-star ratings all over the place. I mean, you actually picked a good company, and you didn't like it, but they were pretty good.
Bob, how many hours have you spent fighting this case?
How many
hours? Oh, I've spent a considerable amount of time on it. Yeah, but going on your premise, then I'll hang up. I appreciate your input.
No, Bob, I understand. Look, do we help people when they call up and we tell them they don't have an argument? Do we help them? I think we do. But you know why? It's really not for Bob at this point. Once there's no hope for a consumer, we dissect it a million ways. So those listening, they'll think, whoa. So now, think about somebody right now or in a few weeks going to get a moving contract. They're going to say, wait a minute, honey, do you remember what happened on that Martino show when that guy had another storage unit and they called him up? Hold on, sir. We want you to look at this extra garage we have or this extra storage unit. In fact, we want a guarantee not to exceed price in writing. That's what we want. And then we want also to check out the company and everything else.
Is it common to pay 100% up front on a moving company?
No, I didn't understand that at all.
I mean, that to me, I would never.
Normally they take a deposit, and then
25% or so.
And then they take the balance at the other end based on the weight ticket. And again, there's a guaranteed not to exceed price, but most don't even like doing that. It's very difficult. I'd love to hear people's moving stories. But
do that because they have your stuff in hostage if you don't pay. It's very simple.
Yeah, and these guys didn't do that. But if anyone has a story on moving, I'd love to hear it because it will help others. I would say of all industries, now correct, this is what I'm thinking about. Of all industries, the percentage of things that go wrong in industries per transaction, would you say moving is right up there in the top 5? Of things that go wrong. For example, take carpet cleaning. That's not in the top 5 for things that go wrong per transaction. I'm talking about the entire industry. Yeah. I'll tell you another industry. If you take per 1,000 transactions, how many things go wrong? The restoration industry. Oh, my God. Way worse than moving. In the restoration business, most of them go wrong.
Would you say contracting? Like general contracting?
Just the whole process from beginning to end. The entire process from beginning to end. There's always something that goes wrong. The other one,
auto repair.
If we had to pick, what's that?
Auto repair.
No, actually
I don't know
not.
I don't know if that would be
not as if you're looking at my records, not per transaction. There are so many transactions that happen, and you don't have a good percentage of them going bad. You have some of them going bad. Another thing is with moving, a lot of them don't get a chance to go bad because they don't fall for it. I'm talking about a completed transaction. What industries have the most problems? Per completed transaction, moving and restoration are absolutely up there. And I'll look, by the way, during the break. I'll look at the other industries in my records here. But what would you say, Dave?
Restoration by far.
God.
And the reason it's not way is because the insurance company picks up most of the tickets.
For example, you might think roofing, but it's not per transaction. Per completed transaction, things that go wrong.
How about gym memberships, Sam?
I don't know. We hardly get those anymore. Do you know why? Because we used to all the time, years and years ago. Hardly anyone is doing the long-term, non-cancelable contract.
This is Denver's.
I would say, though, the emotion behind auto repairs, it
It's
feels
amazing.
like you don't trust
It's amazing that we don't get that many.
American Restoration is the
Oh,
worst.
my
really,
God.
They'll charge just for fans. They'll charge $100 a day for a fan.
Can I give you an unsolicited testimony for a moving company?
Yeah, when we come back.
Okay.
You want to do it on the air, right?
Yeah. These guys are amazing. My wife, my son, and I have used them.
Are you leaving?
No.
Oh.
5 or 6.
I will here in the next 20 or 30
And we got to. Okay, we'll give this and talk
6
about
times.
this month.
The only thing they've ever
Locally?
broken is a 30-year-old gooseneck lamp that came loose. They are terrific.
What's the name of them?
Move Masters.
Okay.
They're a local company. They started in the 80s. I was one of the first customers. They are amazing.
Do they move? How far away do they move?
I think it's local.
I mean, is it a 30-mile radius, 50-mile radius?
Front range.
Okay.
But they are fantastic. They pack, unpack,
Okay.
move me.
5 seconds, guys. Listen, this is a seminar where nothing is required. You will buy nothing. All you do is go there. There's nothing to buy if you wanted to buy. You will go out of there with enough information to do your own estate plan or at least start it, even a will. Because Blake Harris is putting on a seminar, and it is the Mile High Estate Planning Seminar. 2 days. You go to either one. It's not two-parter, either one. The 21st or the 22nd. That's just in a few days. Lunchtime, Crawford Hotel, Union Station. Okay, the 21st and 22nd. I'll give you the website where you can sign up for a seat. There are only a few left, and you will learn what you need to know to get started with wills and probate and trust. Now, of course, you're going to want a professional with a complicated estate or even more than a basic estate. Blake Harris is there to help you at any time, not just at the seminar, but go to this website to find out more about Blake and his services, milehighestateplanning.com.
With rates dropping, you can save thousands in interest. Want to know how to save even more? Do a simple interest loan.
You know, last week on Friday you were talking about done right.
Yes, sir.
I had them do my bathroom. They were great. Everything was
Who was
terrific.
it?
Oh, they're
Done
good.
right.
They're good. They're
Oh,
just
good.
expensive.
But
They're just expensive.
the thing that was really pissed me off, I paid every bill on time. At the end of the project, I owed $300. I signed off at like 10 o'clock in the morning. They wanted someone to send somebody to my house to pick up the last $300.
Oh, my God.
And I had already paid
That bothers me.
$20,000. I said, look, you guys, I paid you $20,000 I'll mail the check.
No, that bothers me.
Oh,
When
I was pissed.
That's policy, though. That's not you. That's policy.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't me personally, but I already paid them $20,000. I owed them $300 on the last day.
No, I know. They think they're so used to getting stuck.
They are expensive.
But they did a great. They
Yeah.
are
You're right. They
more
are good.
expensive.
They are good.
But they did a great
Right.
job.
Yep. No, I agree.
Right here.
We get no complaints about how they do it.
But that just
Have we
pissed
ever
me
gotten
off.
complaints about them?
Maybe on cost or something.
Shit.
But it's not I-Heart, it's a landlord.
I don't know. Hey, did you get your machine from EAU Technologies?
Yes. Did you send him any complaints you get, right?
I don't have his email. I think I sent it to Tom.
Oh.
No, but on a lot of those, I remember discussing there was nothing to send. There was a fucking
No, but we still
card.
said anything I get, I don't care how stupid it
Well,
is.
I had a few
I
that
forward.
I did not forward.
Just
send them to me.
I tried calling there and stuff, and I didn't have your.
So mine's Shane Karen at denverzerores.com.
Here's the good news, Shane. I don't think we've ever gotten anything not that.
I'll send it to you.
I don't think we've gotten a
that's the
complaint
only
about
thing.
you.
That's the only thing.
We have not
we want
gotten
to know
a
about them
complaint.
all, and we'll address it.
No, that's the only thing.
Yes, but he still wants them. That's the
No, I understand that. Has anyone ever remember a complaint about their cleaning?
Nope.
Neither can I.
Yeah,
That's good
cleaning
news.
or the technicians, how things were handled.
No, you're text.
In fact, this guy who complains said
That's
the guy
right.
was great.
That's exactly right.
So
In fact, they're
he's-
almost apologetic. They love you so much.
It's kind of funny how they they'll threaten us. You know, we're gonna call the radio stations or we're gonna email. We're like, be my guest.
There, I copied. You
But we're
have this.
typically addressing the issues
Okay.
before it even gets to you guys.
Let's see what I'm
So-
looking for.
Well, we did have that one on him. I did not forward.
What's that?
What are you making up?
Nothing. They said that you killed the dog and then killed
Oh.
the cat and skinned it alive, and I said, no, there's
And
no
then they
way.
ate it in front of you.
And then they sent me an actual video of it
Did
going
we at
down.
least share it? Ask them if they wanted some of the cat?
Yes.
Okay. Then I think we're good.
You don't do it, man. I would never do it. I would never take responsibility for a pet if they say, "Oh, don't let the pet
We've
out." I
had
say,
we've
"Get rid
had
of it."
one person claim that we were responsible for killing her cat.
Really?
Killing it? How?
Because of the.
Oh, you mean the chemical or whatever?
We put a protectant on the carpet, and the cat she said, was licking it. So, I mean, she had issues with vets prior to that. And she was.
I would have said that cat
Cookie to
deserved
say
to
the
die.
You could have. You just go to any Chinese
will
restaurant and
not
grab them
confirm
another
or
one.
deny.
Oh, wait, Bob is gone. Okay.
No, we've had
Oh, good.
crazy.
So you know they make a seawater
I didn't know that.
that's lasts basically indefinitely.
Yeah, do it.
This
Do it
EAU
whenever you get on.
technology, they got a lot of stuff on
Yeah,
there.
they do. So EAU, ZFS started EAU.
Okay.
And then sold it off. And the guys that own EAU now,
They got the companies. Coca-Cola uses it.
they have in the past. I don't know if they still do.
It's on the thing. Coca-Cola, Hidden Ranch, Esmeralda, Pepsi, Gee Whiz.
The guy that owns it now, he does a bunch of flower farms down in South America.
That's they use the seawater too for it also.
I'm Tom Martino. Hey, don't forget, you got to have it done this month. But $33 a room, a minimum of 3 rooms for zero res. And that's the kind of carpet cleaning I get done, zero res, because it's zero residue, zero stuff they use. They use empowered water. And I love the method. It's just so fresh and clean. And anyway, zeroresdenver.com or 303-471-5150.
Tom, can I add something to that?
And it has to be done by the end of the month. It has to be done by then. So call and get that booked. Yes, go ahead.
The technology is secondary to our philosophy of how we take care of our customers and the people we send in your home. We're going to drug test, background check, train all of our people. We don't sub that out. You can trust the people that come into your home.
Oh, yeah, that's
so
important.
that's critical.
I take it for granted. You know what? That's funny because it shouldn't be taken for granted. That you're right. That is really important. Okay, so
I got to give a shout out to moving. There's a great moving company in Colorado, local, called Move Masters.
You used them?
My wife has used them. I've used them. My son has used them at least 2 times each. Never.
Good.
Always
We
on
ought to call
time.
them about. We ought to
always
call
on time. Doesn't break things. Great prices, and they keep close to the price.
No.
So, unsolicited testimony to
Okay,
these
good.
guys.
And I used Amazing. Amazing is amazing. God, that guy's been around for years. I've used him at least 4 or 5 times. Amazing moves. And you know what? It's a terrible industry, though, in general. That's another one on the. Remember we said we were going to take a list of per transaction things that go wrong? So moving, we said, oh, no, that was the one we said. Moving has to be in the top 5, and then restoration. But what else per transaction, if you take 1,000 transactions, would have the worst record of things going wrong? For sure, it would be, for sure, restoration and then moving. But what else?
Car deals.
Not car deals, believe it or not. Oh, deals, not repairs. Maybe. Hold on, that might be. I got to look
Used
that
cars.
up.
No, actually all cars.
You know, the deal, not the deal itself. If you took 1,000 transactions, people complaining or feeling, I don't know, Mark, maybe not that, maybe not. I don't know. I have to look. I threatened to look during the break, but I didn't get a chance. Al, let's talk about your car insurance. What happened?
Hi, Tom. I have, an issue with my car insurance.
What's
and
going
right
on?
Now,
let me bring up an expert to listen from Compass Insurance Group. I'm just going to ask Jeremy to listen, to weigh in on it. Go ahead, Al.
Okay, so both the insurance companies, mine, American Family, and theirs, Geico, disagree on who's at fault, so it supposedly went into arbitration. But
let me ask you something. This is very interesting. They're disagreeing on liability. Can you explain the accident to us?
Yes, I was rear-ended as I was getting onto the freeway, and I have a witness. They don't have a witness, but I have a witness, and she gave a statement for me. And
what were the circumstances, Al? Were you in the acceleration lane?
Yes, I was.
And what happened?
Well, I changed lanes from the, there was, this is from Broadway and I-25, getting onto the freeway to go south on I-25.
Okay, you were in an acceleration lane where you merge, right?
Yes, I switched over, and as I switched over, a guy ran into me.
Switched over. What do you mean switched over from the merge lane to the regular lane?
This was in the part of the highway that you're not quite on the on-ramp yet. It's in between the off-ramp and then the on-ramp. So I have to switch lanes from the right lane into the left lane to get into that left lane, which is the exit lane, and then going further up into the on-ramp.
Man, yeah, I know what you mean. So you have people coming the other way while you're merging on, people are getting off.
Correct.
Okay. So was it one of the people getting off that hit you in the back when you merged left?
Yes.
Okay. So then I can see where that could be complicated. And it's your contention that you moved safely into the lane while the other guy came up too fast on you.
Yes, and that's what my witness testified. She said that, he's going about 70. He's going way too fast. And I saw him when I switched lanes, but he was way, way, way back there.
Yeah. Did anyone go over a solid line?
No.
Okay.
It was okay to switch lanes.
So listen, I can see where the argument would happen. Wow, this is weird. So what happens when no one agrees on liability? I don't know. So tell me the rest of the story.
So they made a claim against my insurance company, and then they denied it and said, no, based on the witness testimony and everything else, we're denying liability.
So AmFam said, we're not taking liability.
Right.
And then what?
And then, supposedly the process is now it has to go to arbitration with a, independent third party that's going to look at it to decide who's liable.
Wait a minute. Usually this is weird. Usually arbitration is when you have your own policy and you're having an issue. Arbitration usually isn't between two insurance companies. Usually what happens is you put it in with your insurance and they put it in with their insurance, and then the two insurance companies fight it out. They never wait. You should never have to wait while your claim is being arbitrated or fought. This doesn't make sense to me at all, Al.
Oh, you mean I should get some kind of
hold on,
even though it's an arbitration?
First of all, it shouldn't be an arbitration letting the consumers wait. You and the other guy are waiting for two companies. That's not how it works. With insurance, if there's not an agreement as to liability, your insurance pays for you if you have the coverage. Their insurance pays for them. And then they fight it out. Or you personally take the other party to court. The idea that you have to wait for arbitration is ridiculous. So my first question to you.
One small detail.
What's that? What is it?
Small detail. I didn't have full coverage. All I had was liability.
Well, that's
so
why. That's why. So your insurance is not going to pay because you don't have the coverage. So then what would happen, Al, is until somebody is not automatically guilty until they're proven guilty. So what I would do if I were you is fight it, but hold on, because we need to get I'll tell you the proper steps, because what you're doing now, waiting, is not the way to do it.
Now, Impact Traffic.
Sponsored by
Publishers Clearinghouse is still around.
Yeah. What is that?
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, like why?
Still around.
Jesus.
You know, I get about 5 calls a day on Friday from people who get scammed by PCH. Not by PCH themselves, by people who pretend to be from PCH.
Shane, got a question for you. When you come on out there, what do you charge for stretching carpet? Is that hourly or?
No, we're going to measure that out. It depends on the seams, where we've got to cut seams.
They
what
make it look
furniture
like
needs to be
new.
moved.
I think everyone should have their carpets done.
No, I like
We
that.
only we'll quote that on site. We won't quote that over the phone.
Okay.
So what do you do in a bedroom where there's a bed and you want the cops? Can you go under the bed? You just go around the bed?
Just go around the bed.
Yeah, that's all pretty much.
Yeah.
Way.
Now, if they want to move it, they can move it, break it down.
Right,
We're not
you don't
gonna
move it.
How about just rugs? You know, like rugs sitting there, like you got to buy.
Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. I know someone who was looking for a home, and I said, have Frank help you. They couldn't believe it. Do you know what? It wasn't in the area Frank normally works, and he still helped the guy out by doing a search query in his exclusive database, which helped this guy find leads faster, like when they came right on the market. Frank Duran gives free market analysis. He'll help you even if you ultimately do not use him. Of course, you would be crazy not to use him, because he is one of the best I have ever seen at buying or selling. Representing you, you'll get the best results. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622.
You know, this guy Al at Collision said, Tom, I don't have collision insurance. I just have liability. That would change the whole way, right?
No. Yes.
But that changes the whole thing.
You have to do it on the carpet or out in the garage or something.
Too much water.
No, we can just clean a nylon carpet. We can clean that in the home. If it's a natural wool, you're going to get some cotton in the fringes, silk, or anything like that. Or if there's any repairs that need to be done on it,
But
then
you can
will not
clean
do it
any
in the house.
You can clean any carpet, though, right?
Yes, there's wool carpet, but we've got to identify. We'll do a test on it, a burn test, to identify if it's wool. If it is, then we're going to turn down our heat. We're going to dry it much quicker. We're not going to get it nearly as wet.
But you clean anything.
Yes. On carpet. Area rugs, like silk, wool or silk or anything natural, we'll take back. So we won't clean it in the house. If it repairs or tassels, we won't clean them in the house.
Is there a special process?
Yes. Yeah. So we won't clean those in the house. We've got a vendor that we work with to clean those, and he's the best across the country.
What do you do about stairs? Do they count? If the stairs, is that extra?
Stairs are $5 a step. We'll do 10 stairs, 10 steps to equivalent to an area.
Okay.
Anything above 10 is great.
Do you have one or
So
more
if I had 2 bedrooms and my stairs done,
long-term tooth replacement
it would
option
be
to help you get your smile back to looking
3.
natural and
Right?
attractive? Well,
Three
you
areas.
consider
Right,
dental
that would be
implants.
10
And I know
stairs
just
as
who
in
can
the
help
room.
you
Okay.
because they help me with my dental implant. Aspenwood Dental and the Colorado Dental
What do you think,
Implant
Tom?
Center. And not only do their
your
dentists have
wife's
years
up there.
of training
Oh,
and
some
real-world
guy.
experience
Oh,
with
the
dental
president
implants.
said-
Area rugs.
8280 magazine
Hair
I
dentists
want you to do on
voted by their peers.
We don't want to get water on the
dentists in
floor.
Colorado
Say, so,
for 11
I
years
don't
in a
care.
row.
Huh?
Of course,
Well, like I
all
said, I don't
treatments
care.
offered by
Won't do what?
Because they can change their mind real quick. Right, if wood floor starts to buckle, hey, it wasn't there before. Yeah, we can. So
That'd be crazy.
The other thing we won't do is we won't clean anything pottery barn.
Why?
Because it sucks.
It's bad stuff.
Terrible, terrible stuff.
You mean area rugs?
Yeah, pottery barns, area rugs, upholstery, that kind of stuff. We won't touch it.
God, they have done upholstery for me. They made shit like new. Honest to God.
Do you do couches and stuff like that?
Leather,
Yes, man.
upholstery.
leather?
We'll usually
They
stay
did
away
some stuff
from
for me. Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll do leather. We'll usually stay
Yes,
away
they
from
do.
Haitian cotton because it just.
Oh, we had a thing on that.
I
Not
see.
Haitian.
It's
It was
dangerous
some
stuff to mess with.
The one that right, the guy who had the.
These
wasn't
guys,
Haitian
man,
company.
I'm telling you, they do some good stuff. If
Not
I had a
every-
motorhome, I'd have it done. You can't
Motorhomes
get
is
better.
amazing trying to clean those. The carpet, how much dirt and
It's
sand gets
Mark.
down in there.
I used to have my motorhome done. Having a motorhome done is important because it gets so much shit on it.
Dude, if you've never cleaned, there's sometimes you can't get the floors clean. You have to replace the carpet in them because there's so much dirt, sand, and soil in it.
Just constant
ridiculous.
You have yours covered, Mark?
I had a garage.
No, I meant your floors.
What do you mean? Do I have them covered?
In the motorhome, do you have tile or do you have carpet?
I have LVT.
Oh, okay. Then you don't have
Waterproof.
to worry about shit
Yeah.
getting in it. Oh my
But your
God.
upholstery,
So
seats
scratches.
and stuff, we'll come in and clean.
Leather.
Yeah, we'll clean it. Or we don't clean it with our same system. We will take care of leather with leather products.
Whatever you do, it's.
Did I tell you that when we came in and did your helicopter?
Yeah, you got in
they gave
trouble with those assholes.
I didn't respond to them.
Why'd
What
you
do
get
they
in
say?
trouble?
You have to have. Oh, because you're working on the airport without a permit.
Yeah, you've got to have a license and everything else.
Even though I have a private hangar in a private facility, you weren't even on airport grounds.
Yeah, I didn't respond to them.
It's not like they're going around on the airport doing business.
Soliciting business, we did. We went out and did one and paid
But you would think in
pictures
a
and-
private hangar, why would they care?
I guess we went through their facility at some point in time to
Well,
get
you-
out to it.
On the ramp, you drove to my hangar.
Yeah. So, well, gents, it's 1 o'clock.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Now, Al was in an accident. The companies are disputing liability. That is not an uncommon thing. But in all accidents, you should never have to wait. If you are in a dispute, if the companies are in a dispute, here's how you handle it. You would take the driver of the other party to small claims court or regular court, depending on the damage, and sue for your damages. Why people feel they must deal with an insurance company is beyond me. There's nothing that says you must deal with the other party's insurance. Okay, Al? But now that it is in this process, if you can't afford to do it, that's what you would do. Now, Jeremy, so I hung up on Al by mistake, but Jeremy, what happens in a case like this? Basically, you do go after the other party directly, right? Or what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have two options. And I think he meant to say mediation, not arbitration.
Okay.
Because when two companies are in disagreement about who's liable, it will go to mediation.
Okay.
The mediator is going to determine the at-fault party. Let's say he's not at fault.
Yeah.
Then in this case, Geico's now contractually obligated to pay for his property damage.
So, Al,
If they
you
lose that
can,
mediation.
there's nothing wrong with this mediation and you waiting, but you don't have to wait is what I'm saying.
Exactly, yeah. If
Okay.
he decides he wants to take the other driver to small claims court, he always has the right
Now,
to do
Al,
that.
did you consider, how much is your damage?
Oh, if they total the car, it might be like maybe 3,000.
Okay.
It's 3,500.
So you're right in that pocket. Have you considered small claims court? You can use a witness. See, here's the wonderful thing about it. You have a witness, you have evidence. You don't have to wait for the insurance company. You can go after that guy directly and get a judgment. Guess what will happen? He'll submit that judgment to his insurance company, and it doesn't matter what they think. They have to pay it.
Okay.
No, seriously.
All right, so
I mean, because you can't force them to mediate this quicker. Is that what you were hoping I'd tell you?
Yeah, or just even check on the status. I can't get it.
Well, we can check on the status for you. Hold on. But I still think you start small claims. More coming up.
When are you guys booking Hawaii?
I don't know. We haven't even talked about it.
Start looking.
Okay.
Okay, gents.
Later.
Slide in early.
We'll push
I
it.
understand now. I get an argument. I appreciate that. We got to settle out.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Oh, that's cool with the way that. That is really cool.
So,
wait a minute. I've never had one. Are they common, those cross straps?
Yeah, but usually don't use them.
Those are pretty cool.
Yes, they are.
Those
so
are
we
very
did all these backpacks. We got a bunch of patches and stuff.
Are you going to bring them for us?
For us, yeah.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry.
You keep saying how you're going to bring them.
I keep walking.
You already told him 2 sweatshirts. I just want a backpack.
Let me see that.
Man, you guys are.
You got a
can
jacket.
We go back and
you got leather.
This?
You have leather.
We need to go back and record. And look at this.
And your brother.
They just put patches on them.
Your younger brother.
So we made this one. Right.
First of all, Alibaba, those are about
$1.25.
$1.25.
I think it's called 511. Is the store. But these are ours. Damn few. This is one for safety, not wrecking and stuff. Embrace the suck. And this is a different one.
Was the elevator working?
That's what she said.
It only goes up to the 3rd floor.
You can't go to the 4th.
We couldn't go anywhere.
No,
you can go to the 3rd. You didn't try.
You can go anywhere. No one's in the building today.
Right. But the 4th floor is cut off as a bucking floor.
Stuff, man.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you. You guys take care.
Yeah.
Later, Shane.
Be good.
I'm waiting for my back. I don't need any
Oh,
stickers on there. No stickers. Tell your younger brother to.
He's not my younger brother. You just lost everything with that comment. See? Mark, he just lost it all with that comment.
What do you say?
He said, your younger brother. He got me by 6 years.
It's a shame.
When's Memorial Day?
Memorial?
What date? Do you have any idea?
I think it's like the 25th. The end of May.
At 4 o'clock Eastern Time. This is ABC News. In Chicago, 1 person is dead, 2 others.
Monday, May 25th.
Inside a subway tunnel.
The shooting taking place early Monday morning at a pedestrian tunnel that connects 2 subway lines in downtown Chicago. A man shot in the chest died at the scene. Another man shot in the head and arm, and a woman hit in the backside. Chicago police say it appears the shooter got
Well, who told you had to do it today or what? That you just want to do it? You know, I was thinking.
Do what?
No
one tells us. They can't tell us, but they can sure say, everybody else in the building or on the station is live. Everybody. So that's a general.
Okay, so they are live today.
Yes.
Gotcha. But over Christmas and stuff, you got.
The only reason that became an issue at all is it was just last minute.
Researchers said outdoor activities and poor sun protection may be contributing factors to high UV attributable melanoma rates. Aaron Katursky, ABC News.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. Tom really hit home on that and stuff. Not only people complaining what to tell them.
Because our way works great for us, but it may not work for your clients.
We're told.
That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So you are good Wednesday and stuff? Should I go ahead and book court?
Fuck yeah, man. Every Wednesday.
Well, I say you can't do it till. They told me you can't do it till the week of.
Yeah, but if you know, you got to call. There's a guy that works there.
Jim.
He'll book whatever you want. He'll just tell you whatever you want to hear. Yeah. Well, you can book next year if you want.
Till you get there.
Yeah, exactly. I like how they say, just make sure you check with us when you get here. It's like, I'd rather not have to check with you.
We should have brought the old. We should have done the Seinfeld reservation. We should have done that.
Miller, pie 4, Miller.
No. You know how to take a reservation.
You don't know how to keep
the reservation.
That's the most important part.
Reservation. Anybody can.
Do you want the insurance, sir? Yes, I do. I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car. Give me that insurance. And then he turns out he uses the wrong car. What happens to the rental car?
George wrecks it, and George wasn't on the thing.
it ends up in a fucking swimming pool. Remember, he drives it into a swimming pool.
Is that what happened?
Him and that woman. His
But George did it.
I don't think George
Because
did it.
because
No, he used the wrong credit card.
No. He wasn't on the. If Jerry was driving, he would have been covered. But
Are you guys talking about Seinfeld again?
It's all we talk about.
Is there something else? Here, I gotta look it up. I got lunch.
I'm gonna book it for that. Are you good with that? I'm gonna book it for that weekend. That one I sent you, Sun RV Resort up in Granby.
I didn't see that. There is also a stall on the off-ramp from westbound I-70 onto Colorado Boulevard and a crash at 50th and Federal. Denver weather, mostly sunny today and a high of 43, but then snow likely after 11 p.m. tonight with one.
Hey, what'd they say on that rental? That public storage? They're just gonna get back to you.
Suzanne got in touch with the media department.
Okay.
And left them my number to call me back.
Because on that one, they got to jump through a lot of hoops before they sell it. After
well,
30 days, they got to give them a 15-day notice.
I agree.
And then it's got to go to the sheriff too.
Well, we'll see what they have to say. She's claiming she got nothing.
Right.
I can't believe they didn't.
And it's either got to be a certified letter or handed in person.
Right. That's what I think. She's saying she got nothing, so something is wrong.
And they rarely do people get it wrong when they call us.
Never, man.
I told you, like.
In fact, I'm struggling to remember one.
This guy out, all he had to say was, I have liability, I have no collision. That would have.
Right.
That's why he's waiting for them to determine liability.
It's a $3,000 car. I know why he does it.
Right.
He could just write these small claims on that.
May's pretty nice. End of May's nice up in the mountains.
Pretty good.
Like Grand Lake.
Yeah. Oh, camping.
Yeah. Memorial Day weekend, yeah.
Well, like I say, we did one last year to camp. We were going to go camping. It was quite high. Snowed big time.
Well, it can snow on.
Can you guarantee me no snow?
No.
I'll guarantee you no snow.
Done.
I'll bet you a dinner. You know,
I won't bet you, but you guaranteed it.
I tell you that.
Hold on, I'm calling God right now.
And I'm not a camper anyway. I'll talk to you. I didn't really care to go. I was kind of glad they canceled.
Did you tell her to get Hawaii booked?
What's that?
We just want you guys to book it first, so we don't take a time you guys want.
Yeah, but you know what?
We'll be going September.
You guys really have more about. We have less preferences than you do, really, because we're loose like that. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Whoa,
so I think I dig what you're saying.
Yeah. We can do anything. Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. RenewHomeInnovation.com. Renew Home Innovation specializes in bathrooms, especially showers. You know, this show is all about stuff. Homes, cars, our person, our likes, our dislikes, what we do, what we should not do, what we should do. We help in all aspects of life. Now, here's something I really want to make clear. I give my opinion, but I don't necessarily think you have to follow my opinion. However, when we help people, we ask that you do what we ask of you, because we can work with you to solve these problems. We promise you. And if we don't think we can help you, we'll be straight about it. This one guy that was really pissed off at a moving company, we told him, look, you are not going to win. This is an uphill battle, and it's a waste of time, and you're going off on a wrong premise. His premise was he was going to get the $900 back. They overcharged him. Why did he feel it was overcharging? Because he said they quoted one price, but when they came to pick it up, something he had told them about, the storage unit, was inaccurate, and they said there was way more than they thought, and he disputed it, and he's been fighting it for 2 years. When we argue with you, it's because we're trying to get across a point. It doesn't mean we don't want you to win, but we don't want you to waste your time either. As I said, Renew Home Innovations, if you are looking for, let's say, showers that are awe-inspiring. I mean, like, do you know when you have a company that does that specialty, they can do Serica, which is a Kohler product, or they can do solid, beautiful sheets of, this stuff is porcelain, is so beautiful. Your bathroom is stunning. And they do, of course, special discounts for senior citizens, veterans, and active military. 303-904-2000. 904-2000. RenewHomeInnovations.com. Betty, let's talk. What is going on in your life, and how can we help you? And then we're going to talk about any follow-ups we might have that we've been helping people with. Betty, what's going on?
Yes, I was calling I am consolidating some credit card debt.
Most of the time, consolidating credit card debt spells rip-off.
Okay, well, at this point, I feel like I don't have as much of a choice. But
well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. First and foremost, what have you already done? You said you have a company.
Yes, I just called them to get some info on...
oh, you didn't sign up with anyone, right?
No.
Oh, good, good. Because a lot of people call me after they've signed up with a credit consolidator and they've lost money. So what did Clear Choice Advantage, what did they promise you, or what is their pitch?
They had a few different scenarios, and they do have I did look at they do have an online, some info on their online company. So
no, but what do they, is this Clear One Advantage?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Now, what did they promise? Tell me what they say. What is the program?
They said they could lower my credit card payments, and it would take about 60 months, which I wasn't really fond of.
What does that mean? What do you have to do to be part of them is what I'm asking.
I didn't get that far. I wasn't really too...
Can I explain many times what they do?
Please, yes.
There are different ways they work. One of the most common rip-offs is where they sign you up and say that you have to make payments to them, and you ignore all of your debtors, you and your creditors, they will take money from you and clear up all your debt, okay? And they say they will make settlements. What they're doing is accumulating your money to make cash settlements. In theory, that may work if you could accumulate a bunch of money all at once and make settlement proposals, but for that, you don't use them anyway. What they normally do is collect your money and disappear. And you are in more trouble than you were before you got them.
Right. That was my fear.
So they wanted you to pay, because they wanted you to pay them monthly, right?
Correct, yes.
And then they said they would make settlements, right?
Correct.
Yeah. There's absolutely no guarantee they can do that at all. And in fact, most of the time, these kinds of companies end up leaving after collecting your money.
Okay, and they were not local. So
I'm not telling you that Clear One will rip you off. I am saying this is how the rip-offs operate. Now, you pay, and then they're supposed to make settlements for you. In reality, the truth is, Betty, credit card companies will not make settlements with you unless you have cash to pay immediately. Okay? And the other truth about this is, credit card companies not only will not make settlements, but they usually will reduce penalties and interest if you're with a credit counseling agency. These credit counseling agencies are paid by credit card companies to keep you from going bankrupt because they feel anything they can get from you is better than you going bankrupt. So what they will do is if you're working with a legit credit counseling agency, they will lower interest rates a bit and they will lower penalties. But even those agencies are not good for the consumer. They're good for the credit card companies. You see, these credit card companies pay fees to these companies to keep consumers on the hook. And here's what they say to you. Hey, Betty, instead of going bankrupt, why not pay a little each month and pay off your debt instead of going bankrupt? And that sounds way nicer than bankruptcy, and they make it sound like it's better for your credit. It's actually worse for your credit. Credit card companies and all the other creditors would like to have you believe that if you go through a payment plan, that you will end up better off. Unfortunately, that's not the reality. Now, you know, I love Dave Ramsey and all about him. I think he's a good guy, but the advice he gives, unfortunately, about getting out of debt is, it's just not, he's not lying, but he's not telling you the whole story. If you pay every single creditor over a long period of time, and it's not according to the original plan, if you, like, for example, pay all of your debts on a payment plan and get them all paid off, they will not reward you for that. You will be punished for another 7 years. Meaning, if you're late and you make them reduce their penalties and interest and you pay on a plan to get it paid off, let's say you go through consumer credit counseling of some kind, and let's say you pay off $10,000 over a 7-year period. At the end of that 7 years, your credit will be bad for another 7 years. So you'll have 14 years of bad credit just trying to clear up debt, because that's the way it works. They don't reward people who pay off their debt. They should, but they don't. But if you went bankrupt, not only would the debt go away tomorrow, but it would only take you a few years to build up credit again. I am not saying that's a good thing. I'm telling you that's the way the world is. That's the way it's set up right now. It's not set up for people who want to make payment plans. Now, if you could borrow money and make settlements, that's a good option. How much credit card debt do you have?
Okay, it's around 50,000.
Okay, so you actually, I can tell by this that you did not use credit for emergencies. You used credit as a second income.
At a time, yes.
Yeah, of course you did. You used it as income. Many people that have credit card debt, it's not because they had an emergency here or there. It's because they lived beyond their means as if that was another source of income. And here's the thing. How much do you make a year?
About 50,000.
Now, realistically, how much can you afford to pay every month on your debt? Realistically, I'm not asking you like, you know, a fantasy. I want to know realistically, if you had to pay a monthly payment, how much could you afford?
500.
500. Okay. Now, and that would be difficult, or that would be easy?
That would be easy.
Okay, that's good. So if you had to make a 500, and you didn't have to make all the other payments, you could do it in, let's say, you're telling me 8 years. Right? That's if all interest and everything stopped. But it won't.
Correct.
Okay. So your debt right now, the way it is, you would be in debt for 60 years, and if you paid it quickly, you'd be in debt for about 15 years. How old are you?
58.
58. So do you see how unrealistic this all sounds? I mean, I'm talking about realistic. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing, it's a terrible thing, but that's the way it is. You literally have a life sentence here. But I have a more important question. Even if you could get this paid off or make it go away, how do you keep it from happening again? Are you still using your credit?
No.
So now what do you do? What was some of the stuff on that credit card? What were some of the things you bought?
Well, a lot of it was just trying to...
Just what?
Just what? Appliances that were needed.
Things that... Now, are you married?
The interest just... No. The interest...
Do you own a home?
How many bankruptcies have you done before?
Betty? Betty?
Hello?
Have you ever done a bankruptcy before?
No.
Okay. And how many... Do you own a home?
Yes, I do. I've tried to refinance a couple of times.
How much is your house worth?
It's worth about $398.
And what do you owe on it?
About 180.
Well, you should be able to do something there. Because
I've tried to refinance and I've gotten turned down twice.
Because you don't have any credit. What income do you have?
Right.
What income do you have?
I have a full-time job and I also have a secondary job.
Well, what is your income per year?
It rounds up between the two jobs.
50, you said. Just 50, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now, so you have about $200,000 in equity. If you did it, you can't do a bankruptcy because your home, you'd lose your home.
Right.
Okay. But now you're not a candidate for bankruptcy. Otherwise, that would be the quickest, easiest, and best solution to get it over with. You learned your lesson and move on. However, you need if you're asking me for a solution without any emotion, if I was to give you the best solution, it is to sell your house, buy something more affordable, and pay off your debt. That's the true reality.
Yes,
so
that is one of my options.
Now, I mean, really, there's no sense even wasting time.
How much did she have in equity?
About 200 or 218, but with commissions and stuff, she could come out with a good hunk of money. She would be able to put a down payment on another place. But here's the problem: you have terrible credit now, don't you?
Right.
And here's the sad news, Betty. If you don't do something soon, you'll find liens on your house anyway. You'll be forced to sell it. You never want to be in a position where you're going to be forced to sell. Now, you could do a Chapter 13. A Chapter 13 when you own a home is a good option.
Okay.
It's a really good option because what a Chapter 13 would do, you get to keep your house, and you would make payments that you can afford for about 3 years to 5 years and be done with it. All penalties would stop, and it would be over. You would just make a payment. And probably whatever you can afford to pay is what you would pay. They don't make, I mean, do you have a lot of expenses? Are you able to pay your bills? If you did not have credit card bills, could you pay all your other bills?
Yes.
You could easily?
Yes. Yes.
And you would not rack up credit card again?
No.
Then I would look into a Chapter 13. If you'd like to know how that works, Suzanne, perhaps we can get someone to explain exactly how it would work with someone with $200,000 in equity. Matthew, what's going on, Matt? I got to take a quick break, but I saw you waiting, and because I know you're busy and stuff, can you hold your story till after the break?
Yeah, no problem, man.
Thanks. I appreciate you holding. And then Al wants to talk about his insurance mediation, and Michael has an emissions question.
Weekdays 2 to 4.
Yeah. Have you noticed, Tom, that she has a victim's voice?
Yes, of course she does. That's exactly. That's good. Yes, she does. Okay, 3 seconds. There are a lot of people that lie to you about your website. They might tell you it's pretty when it's not, or that it's good and it's not. You want the truth about your website. You want the real truth? Go to the company we use. They'll evaluate your website for what it is, how loaded fast, what the presence is on the internet, and help you with your internet presence. GetFoundFast.com, a free website analysis. GetFoundFast.com. They'll also tell you what it takes to maintain a presence on the internet, and they'll do it on a budget, but you've got to start somewhere. Use a company we know and trust, not someone that will lie to you. GetFoundFast.com.
Okay, so Doc, I talked to her earlier. She didn't have this for it. She's at work. I think she's talking very
This poor woman has a real problem.
Okay, so here's another thing: is most of that is credit card interest. I think she could get a lawyer to try to get it down.
You mean a settlement?
She just hasn't been paying it.
But they normally won't. They won't settle.
How about if they say, "Hey, we're going bankrupt"?
You know, I would be inclined to give this woman a loan, except not me. But if I was somebody, I think she could get a private loan. Mark, the problem is putting a lady like this on the street.
Well, it would be a second. You would take a second on her house, of course.
Yeah, but it would be worth it.
Right.
Why not a private loan on a house with $200,000 in equity?
Right, I agree.
How much does she need?
50.
It would be a good loan for
So
somebody.
you don't think,
and she could make a payment.
You don't think Wink and Wink could to help her get it down some?
See,
not with equity.
No, they don't. They
But
won't
they
make
don't know she has
settlements.
equity, right?
But they won't make settlements. They don't
okay.
because, oh well, yeah, they would if she had a lump sum. But there's no upside for them at all of making a settlement.
Of course, you're right. She needs a lump sum to pay it
That's
off.
right.
That's what I meant. I mean.
Oh yeah, then they would help if she could get
for like 30,000.
Well, I think she
She
needs.
said most of this is interest. You know what she did, and she just quit paying them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're smart and they see that equity.
Yeah, I don't know if they would look for it though.
I don't even know if a Chapter 13 would do her that well with that much equity.
Why not? You don't lose your home. They just all a 13 would do.
It just restructures where she's got to still pay it off though.
Yeah, but it stops the interest shit, the penalties.
Yeah.
It freezes everything.
That's what she's getting hit. Is the interest.
Yeah.
So
She would have to pay everything, Mark, but it would be in a way that she could afford.
Yeah.
Right now, she's chasing her tail.
Yes.
And it would take her about 8 years, like you said, to clear it up if she paid $500.
In a 13, it would take less because what they do is they'll take away all the penalties and interest right away.
Off of the top?
I think they do.
Oh, geez, she might.
In the last 90, no, they go the last so many days.
Gotcha.
They will take.
Gotcha.
I forget exactly how it works, but what they make sure of is that you're paid what you're owed, and they take bullshit away. Even on cars, they'll take away. If your car depreciated, they'll write your loan down.
But you're
Did
talking
you know
about
that?
just the last 90 days of the bullshit stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's probably paying 25% interest plus a penalty on there. She's probably doing minimums at the most.
Well, you said she's not paying at all.
Well, I don't know that, but I'm saying is she said that was mostly interest. And
Betty, I think, is a candidate for a good second as well.
yeah, I agree.
That might even be better than a Chapter 13.
What about?
Hold on, that's a good idea. And then Mark can make her a second.
What about a HELOC? Does that work?
That's what we just said, but she doesn't have credit. She has to get a hard money lender.
What's she? Where she live?
That's what I gotta find out. You know, listen, I tried helping somebody one time, years and years.
I do a 5-year for her. I do a 3 or 5 year.
At what?
It would have to balloon.
At what?
What do you mean at what?
What percentage?
10.
See, that's still not gonna. It's gonna be more.
She's not going to be able to balloon out of it. That's the problem. I'm not going to hold a 15-year
And
note.
use the second as collateral.
You're right, though. No, but it doesn't
She
matter.
won't be able to balloon out.
She'll never be able to pay it off. You're right. She won't be able to pay it off.
You're gonna. I got to go into it looking at. I'm going to drop 50 grand to foreclose on her in 5 years.
She's not gonna do it.
Well,
10%
hold on,
of
Mark.
50 grand is
It's not
$5
going to
grand.
cost 50 to foreclose.
No, but you got to look at it that way. If the market goes down from now, I mean, you've got to have plenty of equity to foreclose.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be 50.
Fuck
It'd
no.
be maybe 7-8 grand in attorney's fees.
Like I said, she's not gonna be able to afford it.
No.
She'll never be able to balloon out of it.
At 10%.
You're right. You're right. Because she'd have to have enough credit to refi, and she's not going to be able to refi.
But she's not gonna be able to refi, right? She doesn't have the credit, nor she's got.
No.
What's she owe on the first?
180.
160?
180. 180.
Yeah, she has 210 in equity.
Well,
The only problem is
180 is 218.
Yeah.
Did I do it
The
right?
main problem is she doesn't have a way. She doesn't have a rate. I don't even know what her income is.
She said 50,000
50,000.
is her income.
But she's 58, Mark, or 68.
Which makes it even
58,
worse.
58.
Because that means her income's it's not going up.
Yeah, if
No.
she's 68, she could do the reverse.
Well, what's in between getting a...
Wait a minute.
If she was 68,
Just be 62.
She can't do a reverse.
62.
62 at the best for reverse.
So she got 4 years, yeah.
So I have educate me. What's the difference between a second mortgage and getting a home equity line of credit?
It's not. It's the same.
Is it the same?
Hi, Tom Martino here. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Remember that name for a home improvement contractor that is honest, ethical, and forthright. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Not just for roofing, gutters, fencing, decks, and more, but he'll do bathrooms, basements, kitchens. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. We know them personally. Now, here's the deal. Betty got herself in a pickle. Okay, she's got $50,000 in debt. Credit card debt will keep her in debt the rest of her life. She's not a candidate for bankruptcy because she owns a home. The home's worth about $400,000. She has about 200 in equity, roughly. She makes about 50 grand a year. I want to ask an attorney at law who does bankruptcies, Gigi Wink from Wink and Wink. I want to ask her about a 13 and how it works. Betty, hold on and let's talk to Gigi. Okay, Gigi?
Okay. Yeah.
So, if someone has 200,000 in equity and they are about 58 years old, making 50 grand, how is a Chapter 13 structured? How is it structured? She would most likely have to have a payment plan, but in this particular situation, how is it structured?
So, when you have non-exempt property and you're only allowed to protect $75,000 of equity in your primary residence, that goes up to $105 once you turn 60, or if you're disabled. You have non-exempt equity above that amount. You have to pay back your debt up to either the amount of your non-exempt property or the maximum of your debt. So unfortunately, Betty would have to pay back all $50,000 worth of unsecured debt in her Chapter 13.
But Gigi, I understand that. But see, in her, and I have no problem with that. What I'm saying is, if she has to pay 100% of her debt, at least it stops the penalties and it keeps the spiraling out of control. And it makes it a realistic goal. So how is it? Go ahead.
It's okay. So it stops interest and penalties from accruing. You lock in the amount. The longest it can last for is 5 years. So that's 60 payments.
So what does that mean? What would they do? Would they make her pay 100% or just get a payment she can make for 60 months?
They would make her pay 100%.
So if she has 50,000 and a lot of that is recently accrued penalties and interest, do they take off the recent accruals?
No. What happens is when you file, you give notice to all your creditors, and they have about 3 months to file their proof of claim, and they're going to file a claim with the most recent balance.
Okay. So if she divides this to 60 months and it stops interest and penalties, that comes to $830 a month. So there are no exceptions. If you can't afford it, they don't lower it?
No, but the one thing we would look at in a situation like that is whether we could structure it with a payoff at the end, assuming that after being in the bankruptcy for about 2 years, she may qualify for a refinance at that point because her credit will have improved. And we've had success doing that. What you do is you start with a low payment and then you build in a balloon payment at the end with the assumption that she's going to be able to do a cash out refi at the end of the plan.
So you've had people you've actually had people in a 13 repair their credit.
Yes.
Oh, now, Betty, I want to ask you something. On the surface, the $830, if you were paying no more interest and penalties, in addition to your normal debt, would you be able to pay $830?
It would be close, but yes, I can make that work.
But what about this, Betty? Do you have a car payment?
I do.
That could be put into this, right, Gigi?
Yes, and it doesn't always lower it, but sometimes it does, and the benefit there is sometimes you only have 2 years or so left on your car loan. We can stretch it out for the full 5 and lower it a couple hundred a month.
How much do you have left on your car, Betty? What do you have left on your car?
2 years. It's another 2 years, another 24 months for my car. Yeah.
And what interest are you paying, do you know?
I do not know.
Okay, so Betty, I like the idea. So no matter what, Betty, you're going to have to do something. You're going to either have to sell your house, do a Chapter 13, or face liens, which is the worst. You know, those are going to be the worst. So I like the idea of structuring a payment less than $830, putting your car in it, and then doing a balloon in about 3 to 5 years where you can refi and get a balloon payment paid and be done with it, because your house will constantly be going up as well.
Hey, Gigi, how many people enter into 13 and end up going into a 7 in situations like this? Is it more than not?
It's very, very small number of people.
With a lot of equity, they won't.
Yes, the problem is, you'd have to have something like a market crash for that to make sense, or else you'd switch to 7, she's losing her house.
Right. So here's the other thing. What about this? What about if she could get a private equity loan of if she's 50 in debt, can't you also do settlements if you have cash to do it?
Yes. About 50% we can settle across the board. It is taxable income, the forgiven amount. So, it's 50% plus you're going to put the forgiven amount on your taxes.
So Betty, technically, if you could get a loan of about 25 or 30, I mean, you might be able to settle everything and get a hard money loan of 25 or 30. What's the interest on your home right now?
3.2.
What, 3.2?
Yes.
Okay. If you get a hard money loan, see, you can't go to a bank because your credit is crap. But if you got a private loan, even at 7%, 6 or 7, I don't know if you could get that. Mark, what are hard money loans going to go for? More than that now?
10.
10. Oh God, that. But well, you know what? It might sound crazy, but it's not a lot when you think about what it could do for you. If you could get $30,000 at 10%, it's not, I mean, the payment is not going to be that much, but then you would have to balloon out of that as well, because you're not going to get a hard money lender to loan you money longer than, 5 years. Yeah. But I have a quick question, Gigi.
Yeah.
Can you also improve credit after settlements, or is it better to do it with a 13?
They're both about the same, because once you settle, that's a negative credit event. It's going to say settled for less than balance owed on your credit report. But you're going to start rehabilitating from that point immediately. Whereas 13, similar, everything gets zeroed out, included in bankruptcy, and you start improving from the minute you file. So about 2 years down the line, you're in pretty good shape.
Betty, you should go see Gigi or Mike Wink.
Okay.
Really?
I can't see getting a $30,000 loan from anyone with my credit.
No, but some people would do what's called the hard money. That's why it's 10%. I'm not recommending it. But here's what you do. You should go talk to Gigi, because if they can do a 13 and bring that payment down a little with the promise of a balloon, you could be in good shape. So here's their number. 303-410-1720. Suzanne, could you make sure Betty gets that?
This is Denver's talk station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis.
Sell the car and take,
you know what?
But that's what he would say.
It gets a little high and mighty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's what he would say.
I don't know if he'd say that.
Well, yeah, he would. Yes, he would. Sell your house, sell your car, pay your obligation.
Sell the car.
Pay your obligation.
Buy a piece of shit car.
Well, maybe
that's right. And you know what? It's easier said than done. Now, I know a lot of people do it, but you know what? And then never use credit again the rest of your life. And then, you know what else? And I love all that, and God will love you for it and all that. But come on, you don't deserve a life sentence.
Right. And he thinks credit cards are. You should never use a credit card.
After listening to him, I don't even listen to him because on the radio. I just turn him off and stuff.
But he's a good guy. I think he means
he's a good guy,
well.
but he's for the people who are chronic.
He's for people like
drug addicts.
There you go.
Interest addicts. He's for people like
don't use drugs ever. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
If you're a drug addict, don't use,
not aspirin, not anything.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, guys.
Ramsey doesn't say
right now. FixMyHome.com is the website, and you know what? You'll find services second to none. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. And right now, they're doing this $39 special, and it is a special because it's for new customers who have not had this service done. And it's a complete refurbishment of your furnace, and that includes taking it apart to the extent they can and cleaning it and then tuning it up for $39. FixMyHome.com, 720-526-3939.
I can't believe you use Tune 'em Up.
Tune 'em Up.
Like I say, and then this is, when he says buy a piece of shit car, fucking now you're paying instead of your.
What if she has a
I
car
I
that's
think
worth
you
20
guys have him wrong.
What if she has,
No, we don't. He is
no, but what if she has a
extreme.
car that's worth 20 grand?
What's that? I'm sorry.
What if she has a car that's worth 20 grand?
Yeah, maybe.
You don't, right?
Right. But she's got 2 years to pay. You know, maybe.
So maybe it's worth 15 grand. So that's half of the money that she needs for a complete
She's got
cash settlement.
2 years payments left. I mean, that's what I said. Gigi's, you got to sit down with her for
I agree.
everything. I mean, you could just
And take care of all the
Jesus,
stuff.
I keep getting these notifications about payment. Come on, man, from our attorney. They bill better than anybody in the world. They got that down, man. They got that down.
Isn't that the first class in law school? How to collect?
Yeah. You know, Bernie has never came out with a plan about, just forgiving all student loans. He just says forgive all student loans. So like say you had a doctor, he's got $500,000 in student loans, or if you got this guy that worked through college, he's got $10,000, you're just going to say wipe them all out?
It's crazy.
And that's I don't know why Tom wants to vote for him.
I know.
The burning. The burn.
He loves the
wants
burn.
that shirt.
Feel the burn.
Feel the burn.
Let me tell you something. They will fucking feel it.
Oh.
They will feel it if he gets elected.
Well, first of all, the guy's a crazy.
They won't have any fucking jobs because everybody will lay them off.
I do a lot of stuff on YouTube. They have great stuff on crash courses and really interesting stuff.
I love it.
Have you ever looked at Crash Course on YouTube?
What is that?
I do
Crash
the
Course
dummies
has
thing.
these 15-minute lectures on any subject you would think of. History,
like a
math,
TED Talk?
history,
I love
math.
crash courses.
Have
I
you
love
seen
it.
Oh, okay.
No,
But it's called Crash
but I love,
Course.
I love,
Take a
I
look
know
at
what you're
that.
talking about.
Well, just like
every-
TED Talks are great too.
Yeah, but this
I love them.
These are 15 minutes, and they'll give you almost any topic you could think of. But the point is, every time I go on it now, for the past 2 months, it's interrupted by a fucking Bloomberg commercial.
Really?
Every single one is interrupted by a Bloomberg commercial.
He's spending some dough.
He must be.
Hey, it's good for the economy.
I tell you this, if Bloomberg gets it, there's going to be riots in the street in Detroit.
Why?
Because that's where the DNC is at.
Why would
Democratic
there be riots?
National Convention.
Why?
Because Bernie's people will not let that happen. They'll say he got fucked.
He did get fucked if that's what happens. You can't argue
And
that.
Why wouldn't it be a fucking?
His people will go bananas.
If it's a
When is
contested
the Home and Garden show? Is it
convention.
over yet? Is it on or over? Does anyone know?
What?
I need to know the Home and Garden show.
I don't know. I don't think it even started yet. What is that, Memorial Day we were talking about?
No, it's not Memorial Day. It's February 22nd to March 1st.
Yeah, I promised Mark it wouldn't snow on Memorial Day.
He's got a lunch.
Hey, did you pay Deputy Dan the 25?
K&H Home Solutions for windows, siding, doors, and more. K&H has what you're looking for, and right now they have 30% off windows, siding, and doors. And I love everything they do, but I just can't stop talking about the siding they have. Everlast Siding, it truly is the best siding. Now, obviously, I like K&H because they have great installers. The siding in and of itself is the best. And Everlast Siding is now 30% off, but here's the great thing. You get an extra 10% by simply showing up at the Home and Garden Show. That's the 22nd, and it goes through, I believe, March 1st. And that's at K&H's booth. You get an extra 10% off for a total of 40% off. 303-421-7100 is their phone number, and if you want to make an appointment for your home, it's khwindows.com.
So when you get your motorcycle license,
Tom,
do you have to go do one of those courses first?
Anything you can think of.
No, you can just
There
go
are
there
15
and
or
get
20 minute
tested
lectures on it.
as long as you understand everything.
What do you mean go there and get it? But you have to go to one of the classes or courses.
I don't
Hi, Tom Martino here. Let's go. Matthew, you have a moving story that must be pretty good because you held to tell us. Now, Matt is on our referral list at referrallist.com. He does public adjusting with Paragon Services. We always recommend him for when you think your insurance company's trying to screw you. So let's talk. What is happening with your moving company?
Well, I moved back in October. I went through 3 or 4 different companies, just doing my homework, trying to select one. And most of them did not charge by the hour. I found one that did, and I like that. It was 2 men in a truck. You heard of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see them driving all over town. I called them up. They basically have an online form you fill out.
Yeah.
And it just kind of tells what kind of stuff you have, how many bedrooms, things like that.
Yeah.
They give you kind of a generic quote, and then they follow up with a call to iron out the details.
Yeah.
They charge by the hour, and they have basically, they told me it would take about 8 hours.
So you are in a nutshell, were you happy with them?
Extremely.
Oh, cool.
On time. Yeah, they showed up on time. I bought those guys, lunch so they didn't have to leave and waste an hour or whatever.
Now, if I've heard this correctly, I'm not sure. Now, I'm not positive either way, but I don't think you always get the same people when you call that company. In other words, it's not a small company. I know the name implies 2 men in a truck, but it's not. In other words, I think it's a franchise. I think it's a franchise. But I might be.
They were on time for starters. That was important.
That's good.
The new house we moved into was just across town, so that was helpful. It wasn't across state lines or anything. But we had new flooring and paint and everything in the house. It was important to me that they didn't scuff anything up. They were great about that. They did gouge my wood floor really bad by the front door. They sent a third-party guy out there to fix it, and you can't even tell that there was ever a problem.
Again, it is a franchise, by the way, for sure. I looked it up. So I want to make sure we give the ones credit that you used. Do you know which one you used? Because I don't want people listening across the country, especially, to think that they're all good. I'm not saying they're bad either. I'm just saying you're giving your experience with one franchise. Do you know where it was, Matt?
North Colorado Springs. So they probably service Castle Rock and that area too.
Cool.
But I couldn't be happier. And again, when I had a problem, I called. They did a damage report.
Good.
My floor, and they were, I think, all told, about $1,800 for a
good
4-bedroom full house full of stuff. So I'm very impressed.
Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. And do you have any good cases to report on? Anything you've done recently?
I'm working on. I got about 20 of them on my desk right now, so I'll have to just keep you guys updated. I would say about half of them came from you guys.
Now, by the way, Matt's talking about cases where he'll take something where an insurance company says, you may not even think, by the way, you're having a problem. Your insurance company might be great. They may say, hey, here's an $8,000 claim, and it turns into $28,000 or something.
He got me 60.
60,000?
60.
Wow. Matt, with Paragon Services,
by
public
the way,
adjuster, yes.
He's getting hitched.
Yeah, I know. He just bought a house. He's getting hitched. Congratulations, Matt. That's right. He's getting hitched. And I'm happy to hear that because he's really happy about it. Al, why are you back in my face? Hey, Al, what's happening?
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. What's going on, man?
Waiting, I think. Yeah, I was just waiting to see, what I should do to see if I can move this arbitration along. I was also wondering, is there some law that says that they have to do the arbitration within a...
First of all, Al, you may not have heard us. It's not... They're not doing this mediation for you, just so you know, okay? And it's not arbitration, it's mediation. They're not doing it for you. They're fighting each other to see who should pay.
Right.
So... I think you feel like this is a case where they're mediating to find out who pays you. That is not the case. Because if your company loses, you get paid nothing.
Yeah,
is this the one? This is the one, right? You don't have full coverage. You have liability only, right?
Correct.
They're trying to get your liability to cover the other guy. You're trying to get his liability to cover you. If his liability doesn't cover you, you don't have anywhere to go because you don't have the coverage. Is your car totaled right now?
No, it's not actually totaled, but the frame is bent, so maybe that'll total it since it's so old.
What year is your car?
2001.
Yeah. It's an 18-year-old car with how many miles?
about $320,000.
Yeah, your car's worth about $1,000, maybe $2,000. Here's what I'm suggesting you do. I'm really serious. Take the guy to small claims court. We said that before. In other words, everyone, not just you, anyone who calls me and says, hey, the other party is ignoring me, the insurance won't give me what I think I'm worth, I say first, be reasonable in your assessment of damage. And if the insurance company doesn't pay you, you do not have a contractual obligation with them. Go after the party that damaged you in court, whether it be small claims court or regular court. Go after them. As soon as they get a lawsuit, they're going to start screaming at their insurance company to cover them, especially if you have a witness and you're ready to go to court. Now, of course, going to court doesn't guarantee you're going to win. It could be the judge doesn't think it's his fault. But at least it gets it off the dime, because there is nothing to force them to speed this up. In fact, Al, I don't believe they're doing arbitration or mediation, because they don't have to. Do you understand? They're both kind of saying it's each other's fault, which is the same as saying neither of us are going to pay anything.
Now, Impact Traffic. Sponsored by...
And the judge said, you know what, it's your fault, not the other guy's fault. Would the insurance company know that, and then that would end?
No. He'd have to tell his insurance company.
Okay, so would he be obligated to tell his insurance company that?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually he would. But
you know
he would, because he's got to fucking pay, and he doesn't want to pay.
But it's a two-edged sword, is all I'm saying. If he loses, then he's going to...
If he loses, that doesn't mean his insurance company has to pay, because he's suing him for liability. That guy's not suing him for liability. If he loses, it doesn't automatically mean he's at fault. It means that the other guy can sue him.
Okay.
You know, I mean, the judge doesn't reverse it and say,
well... That was my
well,
question.
If you're looking for a safe, conservative investment, I recommend one would be becomethebanker.org. Now, Become the Banker is the name of the investment. .org is where you find out more about it. Becomethebanker.org. Listen, I'm not telling you it's the only investment. I'm telling you it's a great investment. It's outside of qualified plans. It grows tax-free. You can use it tax-free. It can even help you get out of debt. It's a solid plan, and it's easy to get into. Becomethebanker.org.
You're kicking yourself in the head. Rates are at historic lows. At the same time, home values have gone up roughly 50% in the last several years. Maybe it's time to put that equity to work by paying off high-rate credit cards, personal loans, or remodel your house. Hi, I'm Wesley Hoagland with Westland Financial. Let us put you in a position to do any of these things with no closing costs. That's right, nothing's rolled into your loan, whether it's conventional, FHA, or VA. Will pay your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. Maybe you just want to lock in a lower rate or refinance out of paying mortgage insurance. All it takes is a 5-minute phone call to see how we can save you thousands of dollars a year. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. Call us at 888-455-3669. 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
If you have traditional insulation in your walls, you're probably paying too much on energy bills. You need the right insulation for true efficiency. Whether upgrading or building new, you need the incredible Rocky Mountain Retro Foam. This is not the foam you see in cans at big box stores. This is advanced injection foam, filling wall cavities, maintaining R value permanently in all temperatures. No hassle application. Injected from outside the home, compacting existing insulation, filling every nook and cranny around it. Retro Foam is environmentally friendly, no off-gassing, and can even make your home up to 80% quieter. Comfort, lower energy bills in a day or less. What are you waiting for? You have everything to gain, nothing to lose. Call Rocky Mountain Retro Foam now. 720-676-6333. 720-676-6333. And see their amazing video at foamyourwalls.com. DenversTalkStation.com.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and my digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. That's because I've kicked off 2020 with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm hooked. All I did was take Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Why? Because Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
There's an app to save on flights, an app to rent a bike, and an app to help you save for driving safely. The Allstate app gives you real-time driving feedback with DriveWise, giving you the power to lower your insurance cost. In fact, safe drivers can save 40% or more. Connect and save with DriveWise. You're in good hands.
Download the Allstate app today. Savings may vary by state and driving behaviors. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Use of Allstate Mobile with activation of DriveWise required. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
When you don't know what tomorrow will bring, you should be prepared for whatever it does bring. That's something I read, and it's great advice. Hi, I'm Carlin Tucker. Viruses, political unrest, trade wars, and natural disasters all create uncertainty in the stock market, which leads to volatility. To prepare for whatever life throws at us, we need our portfolio to grow when the market is up, protect us when the market crashes, and all the while provide monthly income throughout our retirement.
We got it all out there, and they said that, so now when someone complains,
He kept saying, well, we're transparent. I'm not saying you're not transparent.
I know.
No one's accusing you of not
He
being
realized that at the end. Just took him long. He just a little.
It's just the studio. I say it's daytime. What do you say? It's night.
It's cloudy.
Yeah. Now, at least one thing we all agree on: climate change.
Is it changing?
Why has science become fucking political? Like, even the thing, really, honest to God, the thing with gender, and I'm not saying it's right, but you know what gender dysphoria used to be?
Yeah.
Someone would come to you and say, "Hey, doc, I think I'm a man," and you would classify that as an illness.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that we have altered science
Our perception of gender dysphoria
to be politically correct.
I'll tell you what it's going to really come down to is athleticism.
Yeah.
The women are going to fight this to the, and as they should. There's stupid enough people that just become a gold medalist.
And
they would change their gender.
It's becoming, these girls in Connecticut are claiming it's costing them $100,000 because
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. Robert, go ahead. What's happening with you, Robert?
I want to ask you, I'm looking at being a handyman, but I can't tell which jobs are scams and which ones are real on the internet.
It's easy. It's easy. It's easy. Here's how, Robert. I'm telling you, this is the way. If they want any money from you or anything up front, it's a scam. How about that?
Okay.
That's it. Now, if it's legit, they will. Give me an example of what you're talking about.
Doing repairs on apartments and people's houses. They have like handyman jobs out there, but I can't tell if they're going to pay you for that.
Oh, now that I can't tell you. Now that I can't tell you. I can't tell you if who you work for, if they're going to pay their bills and pay you. That part I can't tell you. I can just tell you that if they call themselves a handyman service and they're going to dispatch you and give you work and they want you to pay to sign up and all of that, that's a scam. If you want to work for someone and you want to know will they pay you, you're going to have to get references on that. That's too difficult to assess. You also may do a search in the court records to see if anyone has sued them or anything, or a simple credit report. I know that sounds silly, Robert, but that's the way businesses do business with business. If you're a handyman service and you're doing business with a management company, it's okay to ask for a credit report or to search them in Colorado courts to find out if they do what they say. Hey, RJ.
Hey, how you doing, man?
We're going to run out of time, but I'm going to promise you something. We can get started, and I can have Deputy Doc talk to you this afternoon. We can bring this up tomorrow. This has to do with Meineke and Highlands Ranch?
Yes.
All right, hold on, and we'll have Suzanne get your phone number. Hold on. I'm Tom Martino. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget referralist.com and save all your problems for me.
I'm
Hey, Deputy Doc, look at the number of